Hi, how are you? I'm coming live to you today to answer some of the questions you would like to ask. If you got any question, just put it in the commentary box and I will answer them one by one. Okay, anybody got any question would like to ask me? Please write it in the commentary box and I will answer them. Please let me know if you can hear me or not. Okay, can you hear me? Okay. I think the sound is okay. So anybody got any question? If anybody wants to ask any question, please type it in your commentary box. Type in the commentary box and I will try to give you the answer. Okay. This is a new way of communicating with you. This is my first time, so I just don't know how it's gonna work. But if you have any question, just type in the question in the commentary box and I will try to answer them one by one. This is a new way of meeting you and talking to you, because sometimes when I have live broadcast, we have questions in the commentary box. People send in questions. Okay, first question, she may. What is the difference between, could you explain what is Dhamma Vicaya? Dhamma Vicaya means the contemplation of Dhamma. When you contemplate on the body, Anicca, Dukkha, Anatta, or the 32 parts, or the 4 elements, you are contemplating Dhamma Vicaya. You are contemplating on Dhamma. Vicaya means to analyze, to make it clear to you. So when you contemplate on the nature of the body, you do Dhamma Vicaya. Okay. Next, Chin Li Ching. What's the difference between non-self and emptiness? Non-self means no self. There's nothing. There's no self in the body. Like there's no self in the wind, no self in the tree. So there's no self in the body. The body and the tree are alike, are the same. They are made of the 4 elements. Emptiness means when the mind becomes calm and empty. That's what emptiness means. What happens if I can't remember things? It is too good or bad. It depends on what you forget. If you forget about the bad thing, then it's good. If you forget about the good thing, then it could be bad. But sometimes you cannot help it because memory is anicca, impermanent. Sometimes you remember and sometimes you don't remember. So you just have to accept the truth. Good afternoon, Ajahn. Is the mind the same? Is the mind the same in all our existence? Yes, the mind is the same one, the one mind that go from one body to the next body, or go from one realm of existence to the next. Ajahn, kindly talk about soul and Gandhabba. I really don't know anything about soul or Gandhabba. Also, if they're reborn in heaven, can they remember their relative here? Soul, according to Buddhism, is the mind. That when it separated from the body, it becomes spiritual beings. And if it has good memory, it can remember people that they knew. Okay, Eva Chen, Ajahn, Suchart, Namo Buddhaya. How can oneself balance between sattha and panya? First, you need sattha. If you don't have any panya, you need to have faith in the Buddha, Dhamma, and the Sangha. And believe wholeheartedly that whatever the Buddha said is true. The Dhamma teaching is true. The teaching of the noble disciple is true. Once you believe that, then you can follow their advice and practice. And after you have practiced, you will then come to experience the truth. Then you will have panya that way. Okay, Eva Chen, I have another question. How oneself can keep their aspiration to next life so not to forget it? You have to be a sotapanna to maintain, retain whatever you have in this life, especially the aspiration for the Dhamma. Once you become a sotapanna, this aspiration will be permanent. You will keep on practicing the Dhamma until you reach Nibbana. Kelvin Sudato, hi and good afternoon, Ajahn. Had experience like deja vu, meaning experiencing scene which has seen before. Would like to know why will one feel it? It's like time lapse. It had been a few times. Yes, sometimes your memory can recall the past. Depends on the condition around you at that time. Sometimes when you're left alone, when you have nothing to bother your mind, then old memories can arise. Or sometimes you've been somewhere, you've been there before, and when you happen to be there again, then you feel like you have been there before. But anything that you see or experience, you should treat them as anicca, dukkha, anatta. Don't become attached to them. Just know them for what they are and leave them alone. Okay, nice. Thank you for your question. I think this is quite an interesting way of communicating with you. This is another way of doing it. It's easier than using Zoom. Ahmed Zaki, hello Ajahn, may you be well. I'm Ahmed from Egypt. I'm 30 years old. I have learned a lot about Dhamma from your videos here and read a lot of your answers about the Dhamma question. I'm so fortunate to have you in this life as a teacher. Sadhu, sadhu. Sadhu. Ajahn, I want to ask you an important question. I have the intention to be ordained as a Theravada Buddhist monk to study Dhamma and to attain Nibbana in this very life, or at least to reach one of the 4 stages of enlightenment. And okay, I lost you. The thing keeps jumping up. And then to spread the Buddha's teachings with the Arab tongue and turning the wheel of Dhamma in the Arab world. I have started reading about Buddhism 5 years ago and meditate constantly for approximate 1 year now. And now I'm learning Pali language for approximate 3 months ago. And I'm still in Egypt. And I emailed the monastery in Sri Lanka, and they accepted me to be under test for a few months in the monastery, and then they will decide that they will accept me or not. The problem now, that is my parents are Muslim and they refuse totally for me to go and to live with the monks in Sri Lanka. But I want to go and ordain, but they don't want to give me the permission to live, of course. I can live without their permission, but in that case, thus my ordination will be wholesome or unwholesome action. Because I have read this week that that person can become a monk without permission from his parents. Note my parents are Arab Muslim for the entire of their life and still not Buddhist, and they reject any other religion or philosophy except Islam. I have no responsibility towards anyone, which means that I'm not married and don't have children, and my parents have their salary from their job, which means that they aren't dependent on me and anything. Plus, I have a brother 35-year-old and a sister 30-year-old, and which means that if they can look after my parents, if I went to ordain as a Theravada monk. I think if you are a grown-up person, I don't think you need permission from your parents. I think permission is more or less for juvenile, for people underage that need to have parents' supervision and parents' permission. So the best thing is to talk to the person who's going to ordain you. But I think if you are grown up, if you are a person, a full-grown person, I don't think you need permission from your parents. Okay, Jenny Lai, dear Ajahn, which is your advice to continue practice sati mindfulness in every moment, especially after our walking and sitting, especially on my habitually trained to do multiple work at the same time. Thank you, Ajahn, for wonderful opportunity to ask questions. You should continue having mindfulness in every moment, regardless of whether you're meditating or not. Just focus on your action. Whatever you do, keep concentrating on your body. If you're brushing your teeth, eating, or do anything, just be with that action only. Don't let your mind go away somewhere else. Okay, Shin Li Ching, I understand that the 5 hindrances can be overcome by the 5 spiritual faculties. It is true. If you have mindfulness and wisdom, yes, you can overcome the 5 hindrances. So the 5 spiritual faculty has to be strong. If it's weak, then you cannot. So you have to develop the 5 spiritual faculties to the fullest. Mindfulness especially, and wisdom or panya, and samadhi. These are the three spiritual faculties that will get rid of your hindrances. So Miko Ajahn, if I'm reborn in heaven, Rupa world, can I remember my past life? This depends on your special ability. Some people have this special ability to recollect past life. Some people don't. So it doesn't matter, Past life is gone anyway. So whether you remember it or not, you cannot go back. So don't worry about whether you can recollect your past life or not. Be more concerned with your present life, whether you are suffering or not suffering. Outreach, dear Luang Por, thank you for your Dhamma. What is a view that on all our experiences are in the brain? I don't think so. Our experiences are in the mind. But due to the inability for people to see the mind, so they presume it's in the brain. My aspiration is to see my mind outside of the body and to have complete faith in the Triple Gem. You have to meditate and enter into jhana. Then you'll experience the mind. Then you'll see that the mind and the body is separate. Okay. Okay. Ahmed says sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Okay, so me go. Ajahn, you know so how rebirth take place, especially in heaven. Soul is the mind. See, the word soul is a definition of the spiritual being. Some religion call it soul. Some religion call it ghost. In Buddhism, we call the mind or the spiritual beings. See, the mind doesn't die with the body. After the body dies, the mind continues on as the spiritual being. And this is what we call soul. In Buddhism, we call vijnana. It is this soul that takes up a new body, takes rebirth, or remain in heaven before taking a human birth, or hell. Hi Ajahn, if the mind likes to wander off when chanting a specific chanting book that I have been chanting for several years, can I alternate between different chanting books when doing puja to keep mindfulness? Yes, if it keeps your mind from straying to other things, you can change your chanting. You don't have to stick to the same chanting all the time. Find the chant that will make your mind stick to it. That's the most important thing. Okay, quite a lot of questions. Keep coming in if you like me to answer. May Ajahn be well and happy. Thank you for the Dhamma answer. Okay. Now I have a little chance to take a little breathing after all the questions that I have to read and answer them. But it's quite interesting to meet you this way. Maybe it's easier than on Zoom. Because Zoom, some people cannot get into the meeting room. For some reason, maybe they don't have the application, or sometimes it doesn't work. But with this, I think it's a lot easier. You just type in your question in the commentary box, and when I read it, I will then give you the answer right away. Okay. Chin Li Ching, what is jhana? Is the including piti and one-pointedness. What's the use of jhana for contemplation? Jhana is the resting place for the mind. That's where the mind finds peace and happiness and strength, especially the equanimity, in which the mind can remain unemotional. This is what the mind needs to fight with the defilements. After the mind comes out of meditation with equanimity, it can resist the cravings and desire, and it can use anicca dukkha anatta contemplation to teach the mind to give up everything, because everything is anicca dukkha anatta. Okay, I hope you understand Chin Li Ching. Jhana is full concentration of the mind in samadhi. It has bliss, it has equanimity. It's empty of emotion, no love, hate, fear or delusion, temporarily. But after you come out from meditation, then this emotion will gradually return. So you have to maintain mindfulness or use contemplation on anicca dukkha anatta to stop the mind from being emotional. That's right, Greg Outreach. Sometimes I'm not sure who you are, so I just don't want to invite you in. But next time, if I see your name, I know who you are now. So use this name, and when I see it, I'll let you in. Kelvin Sudato, hi Ajahn. Is there any difference between appana samadhi and jhana? Same thing. Jhana has two types, appana and khanika. Khanika is briefly. For beginners, you would experience khanika samadhi. you enter in jhana very briefly and then you come out of jhana because your mindfulness is still not strong enough to remain for long. It's like a sudden, just sudden fall into jhana and then come out. It's called khanika. And as you develop more mindfulness, then later on you will have longer duration in samadhi, in jhana. So this is called appana samadhi. Okay, Calvin, is this understood? So just keep being mindful, concentrate on your breath or on the mantra, and don't speculate for the result. Let it happen. It usually happens when you're not watching, when you're not anticipating. If you keep anticipating, it will not happen, because your anticipation will block it from happening. Okay. Any Lam, I had experienced non-self some years ago, but now I listen to the heart beating. Is it inside? No, the heart beating is just an event. What you should, if you want it to be inside, you have to treat the heart as anicca, dukkha, anatta. That the heart is not yourself. The beating of the heart can stop any time because it's anicca. So, and you cannot stop it because it is anatta. If you want the heart to keep beating all the time, then you can have dukkha, because the heart will one day stop beating. What to do with all the extra time we have when practicing mindfulness and being awake from correct practice? If you have extra time, just meditate. Don't do anything else. Just meditate. Or walking meditation, or sitting meditation, or do some contemplation on the body. Study the body, the 32 parts of the body, until it is embedded in your mind. Every time you see a person, of the body of a person, you see all the 32 parts of that person. Okay? Okay. Lisa Wu, good afternoon, Ajahn. When in very deep samadhi, there is a brief moment of like no feeling, just like sleeping. Is this sloth, or torpor, or emptiness? It depends on whether you have awareness or not. If you don't have any awareness, then you are sleeping. If you have awareness, fully comprehending, then you have samadhi. Ahmed Saki, is it usual to have a headache because of the meditation? Because sometimes I feel some tension and moves in my head during the meditation, and during the day after meditating, I mean breathing meditation, anapanasati, or ignore it and it will cease by time. Yes, normally for some people, when they start to meditate, they have this reaction of headache or feeling pain here and there. I think this is the defilement trying to block you from doing meditation. So you should ignore it if it only happens during meditation. Kelvin Sudato, hi Ajahn. When I focus, there is a sense of pity and energy. Will just pervade my body. Is it normal? Yes, it is normal. When you meditate, you will have some sense of pity and energy. Can one pointedness or focus be feeling the whole body, breathing as a whole? I think you should only focus at the tip of your nose if you're using breathing as your meditation object. Don't go through the whole body. You don't have to. Just you want to stay in one point in order to be to come to one-pointedness. This is another excellent way to hear your teaching. It is spontaneous. Thank you for your kindness from Varataya Asagun. Okay. So how long have we been on now? 25 minutes. This is quite interesting because I don't have to do anything, just read and then answer your question. So maybe it's another way of meeting you. Send in your comment, what do you think? You think this is good? You don't think it's good? Would you rather prefer Zoom or something else? It just happened to cross my mind that I have this phone which I can use to do the live broadcast. Normally I use the PC and it has no camera or microphone. But then I look at the telephone and there's a place where you can do live. So I said maybe I should try to do it today. At first I was going to use Zoom, but then I said maybe not. Maybe I'll try something different this time. This is very good from Grape Outreach. Ahmed Saki, thank you Ajahn. Thank you Ajahn. I get notification when you are live. Okay. So I have to be live to let you know that I'm here. Chin Li Ching, Itipiso chant 100 times. I know this is very powerful. It makes you have strong mindfulness. That's the point. You keep chanting and your mindfulness will be enhanced. You cannot go think about other things. Okay, it's very good. Okay, I'm on my phone all the time, so this is very instant. Either way is good, Ajahn. Much appreciate and do helping us on the queries. This is good, Ajahn. Okay, all platforms sounds good to me. Would love to see you online every now and then. Sadhu from Jenny Lee. Chin Li Ching. This better as we all can key in and our question, our Q&A. Thank you, Ajahn. It's good way to this way too. From Go Ching Chuan. From Varataya Asagun, I think it's excellent, but we also enjoy Zoom as well. We enjoy and learn a lot from all your channels. Okay, very good, very good. Happy to hear that. From Eva Chen, yes Ajahn, both is great. Happy meet Ajahn personally on Zoom and here for writing question. Lisa Wu, when doing jhanas, do we have to meditate for one and a half to 2 hours or 45 minutes is good enough to calm the mind? When you meditate, if you have strong mindfulness, you can enter into jhana very quickly, 5 or 10 minutes. Once you're in jhana, you can remain there for a long time. So you cannot set the time for meditation really. You should let it happen. But if you're not in jhana yet, then you just have to keep developing, keep focusing on your meditation object for as long as you can. Until you no longer can focus, then you might have to stop meditating. If you can keep focusing, or you can change to a mantra or chanting, then try to keep on doing it. Don't worry about the time. Unless you have to do something, then you have to set up the time. If you don't have the time to do other things, then don't set up the time of your meditation. Let the practice decide how long you can meditate. Eva Chen, thank you for your metta. Gleb Outwit, sharing merit after metta meditation. Is it necessary for other beings? Not really, I think this kind of merit you cannot share. You have to do it yourself. Everybody has to meditate. The kind of merit that we share is the merit that we made from dana, from doing charity. I think it is more beneficial for us here. Thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. Ahmed Zaki. Okay. Anumodana. to Brother Ahmed Zaki on your noble aspiration. May you succeed. From Kelvin Sudato. Okay. There was a story in the Buddha's time. A young man wants to ordain and his parents refused to give permission. So he fasted. He said, I will not eat until I get ordained. So eventually his parents gave in and let him ordain. So maybe this is something you can do, Ahmed. Just fast. I need Tanajan, another question. Sometimes when I meditate at night, a bright light appears. I asked a monk about before and he told me to enter or penetrate the light. Is it the way when the bright light appears again? No, just leave it alone. Keep focusing, keep meditating, keep watching your breath or reciting a mantra. Whatever appears in your meditation, don't pay any attention because they are all distraction. If you go after the light, then you will not be able to enter into jhana. So whatever appears in your meditation, just ignore them. Come back to your meditation object, either a mantra or watching your breath. Then you will gradually enter into jhana that way. Everything that appears are distractions. They are all anicca, dukkha, anatta. So they have no purpose to serve any purpose for you. So don't worry. Don't pay them any attention. Jenny Lai, texting question is good for us, shy and introvert type of person. Otherwise, we enjoy listening to you, answering other practitioners' interesting questions. Many thanks, Ajahn, for all your time and efforts to keep us in the loop for continue practicing, especially in these challenging times during pandemic. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. See May, sadhu, and thank you, Ajahn, for coming on live. Both ways are good. Your live sessions are very inspirational for our daily practice. Okay. Edijan, okay. Ahmed Zaki, okay, Ajahn, I will try. Fasting, okay, see what happens. But I think the permission is usually for the young person who's still not fully grown, who's still under their parents' supervision. If you are a full-grown man, an independent person, I don't think you need permission. But you can consult with your teacher, the one who's going to ordain you. Kleb Otwich, dear Luang Por, I have killed some being as a child, some fish and frogs. I feel very bad. Is it a hindrance? You just have to move on, forget about it. You could not go back and change it. Try to be mindful in the present and try not to do the same mistake. Whatever happens already happened. And whatever consequence it will happen, don't worry, it will pass, everything, whether good or bad. So keep focusing on the present, keep being mindful. Chin Li Ching is eat less, talk less, and sleep less the way to cultivating the mind. Definitely. If you eat less, you will not be sleepy. If you talk less, then you don't have to think. Because when you talk, you have to think. And if you sleep less, then you will have more time to meditate. So yes, definitely. But sometimes you have to talk if you are dealing with people. You cannot remain silent when you are in the middle of involvement with people. But try to talk as little as possible, and try to seek seclusion. Try to be alone. Then you don't have to talk to anybody. But if you have to be involved with people, sometimes you have to talk. But only talk what is necessary to talk about. Yeah. Don't talk aimlessly, don't talk frivolously. Yeah. Okay. We've been on 34 minutes now. Very time passed by very quickly. Pat Si Chung, Tanajan, this is a good way. I'm not IT savvy and don't know how to use most features in my phone. I find this method of communication easier. My question, Tanajan, is this. I have been doing sitting and walking meditation at retreats and meditating off and on at home for a few years now. Now I listen to Dhamma talks whenever I come across it on my phone, even when I don't do formal sitting meditation. I find a calmness as I go about my daily chores. Is it okay to continue like this? Yes, if you finding it peaceful and happy. But if you want to move forward more, then you have to practice more. You have to meditate. The only way to get your practice moving forward is to get into jhana. Once you can go into jhana, then your practice can move on very quickly. Ahmed Zaki, thank you so much, Ajahn. Feel so fortunate to communicate with you. It's a huge honor for me, Ajahn. Sadhu, sadhu. Okay. Kelvin Sudato, hi Ajahn. Can we say the khanda on consciousness is the same as attention? The khanda on consciousness. I'm not sure if you're talking about vijnana. See, there are 4 nama khandas: Vedana, Sanya, Sankhara, and Vijnana. Vijnana is awareness of the sense objects such as images, sound, smell, taste, and tactile objects. This is called vijnana. When it comes into contact with the eyes, ears, nose, tongue, and body, then the mind will come to experience this through the working of the vijnana khanda. Then when you have this, then your sanya or perception will then decide whether this image is good or bad. If it's good, then you have good feeling. If it's bad, you have bad feeling. Once you have good or bad feeling, then sankhara, your thinking will then decide what to do with them. This is how the 4 nama khandas work in conjunction with the rupa khanda, or the body. Meal on meditation. Zoom provides very interactive talking. Live Q&A is easier for access. Either is good with different feeling. Thank you, Tanajan. Okay. Lisa Wu, Ajahn, your screen is too high. Maybe should bring it a little lower so you will not have to stiff neck later. No, it's my camera. The phone is below me, and it is pointing upward to me. I'm looking at the screen of my computer to read your question, see. So it appears that I'm actually looking upward, but actually I'm not. I'm looking straight at the screen. But since I put the camera of the phone under me, so it seems like I'm looking upward, but actually I'm not. See, if I put up my phone to this level, to the same level as then it's okay, see. But I don't have a stand. I don't want to use my hand as a stand because I can get tired afterward. And I also have to move the screen to read your question. So maybe I'll get a stand so that it will appear that I'm not looking upward. Okay? So don't worry, I'm okay. Ajahn, it is wonderful to have Ajahn to provide guidance for Buddhist across the geography in this world. Take good care of your health. I really appreciate Ajahn's teaching. From Kek Yen So. From Somigo, Ajahn is pouring water, Swat Nam, Gwat Nam sharing merit applicable to Buddhists. You don't need to do that. When you want to share merit, you just use your mind. You just use your thought and just say something inside your mind. Like, I would like to dedicate this merit to such a person. Then you already have done that. You don't need to have water. Water is just an example of how your merit will go from one mind to another mind. So you pour water from one container into another container. The water represents the merit that's in your mind. So in reality, you don't need water. You just made merit, and then you will have this good feeling when you do make merit. Then you can share this good feeling for another mind who is departed from this world. All right. Seems like all the question has come to an end. Maybe somebody is typing another more question. I just happened to see somebody doing live with their camera. Then I thought maybe I can do it also. So I try, and it seems to work all right. Wonderful. Whenever I'm free, I can then use this method to reach you. I'll use Zoom also, no question about that. But for some people who doesn't have Zoom or don't, like you say, are shy and don't want to show your face, maybe using the text is more good for you, better for you. Then we can use this as another means of communicating. Okay. Where are we now? From Chi Lin Ching, hi Ajahn, do we need to constantly check if we are mindful, like saying Bhutto? Well, you have to constantly watch your mind to see whether you are in the present and not thinking or not. If you're thinking about the past or the future, it means you're not mindful. So you keep constantly watching, checking your mind, whether you are in the present and not thinking. If you are thinking about something far away, then you should bring your mind back by reciting Bhutto, Bhutto. Lisa Wu, Ajahn, you are very important to us as lay meditators. We are very grateful. May you always be blessed with good health. Thank you. Yeah, actually I can look at the screen and I can also see your text. Maybe this is a better way. Maybe I don't need my computer. I can just use the phone. Okay. Your messages keep coming up. I think the only drawback is that I cannot stop your messaging from moving. When a new message comes in, then the old message is pushed upward. I'm not sure if I can stop it or not, or bring it back. Yeah, I can bring it back also. That's good. Maybe I just keep looking at the phone instead and don't have to look at the computer. Okay, Gleb Aldrich. This is very good, Luang Pa. Ruben Lee, Ajahn, when is your next Zoom? It's come on spontaneously. I cannot tell you when. So I think tomorrow night we'll have one of the Zoom in which we have an administrator. That's around 8 p.m. Thailand time tomorrow night. Tonight it will be in the Thai language on another Facebook page. Don't worry, you're just skeleton. Just grab of it. We are skeleton wrapped with the skin and flesh, and eventually it will return to dust, and then we will have to go somewhere else. So we should practice and develop as much Dhamma as possible. Then we will go with light, not go in the darkness. The Dhamma will be the light, guiding light, to show you the way out of this realm of samsara, from this realm of ceaseless being born and dying. Okay. Dear Ajahn, if we are dedicating merits to the past relatives and friends, do we have to chant the patipat? No, you don't have to chant anything. Just use your thought. Just say you want to offer this merit to such and such a person. So when they hear your thought, then they know that this merit is for them. Screen version is perfect now. We can see you properly. Okay. So I'm looking at the phone screen instead, which is alright. But I have to move myself to the middle. Okay. Maybe this is better now. Chong Mei Ying, how about thinking of various thoughts? You shouldn't think if you want to calm your mind, because your thought can be good and bad. Yeah. And when it's bad thoughts, sometimes you cannot stop them. So you should learn to know how to stop your thought first before you allow it to think. Once you can control your thoughts, then you can stop the bad thoughts and promote the good thoughts. If you cannot control the thought, then you should try to learn how to control your thoughts first before allowing it to think. Gleb Oddwish, thank you so much. Ajahn, why some people after reading Buddha's teaching become more arrogant? Because they misunderstood the teaching of the Buddha. They thought they are much wiser. But in truth, if you really study the teaching, you'll find that the more you know, the more ignorant you are. So this should be the result. Not the wiser, the more arrogant you become. Ajahn, should we open our eyes slightly or close the eye totally? You should close your eye totally. You don't want to let your mind go outside. So you have to shut your eyes and focus on your meditation object. Ajahn, this time is great. Happy not to miss this opportunity. Paul Ling Soon, what is the program a day do I arrange as Buddhist? You try to arrange if you can get as much time as possible for your Buddhist practice, like studying the scripture or listen to Dhamma talk, meditating, doing walking meditation, developing mindfulness. Do as much as possible. Whenever you have free time, don't do other things. Do Dhamma practice or study the Dhamma teaching. Lisa Wu, Ajahn, how important is Buddha Puja in our training of the mind? To pay respect to the Buddha means to practice. The Buddha said there are two methods of giving puja. Giving puja by giving flowers and candles in front of the Buddha image. This is one way, but he said this is not the effective way. The effective or preferred way is to practice. Whoever practiced the Dhamma, the Buddha said, he give me the puja. So just keep practicing meditation, mindfulness, and keeping the precepts and giving dana at the appropriate time. Dear Ajahn, my mom gets serious sick, and I have led her to listen many metta and Buddha song. Will it work? The song or the chanting will calm her mind, but it will not have anything to do with her sickness. But once her mind is calm, then the sickness will not bother her. Ajahn can also conduct guided meditation at certain time of day. When you meditate, you don't need anybody to guide you. You have to guide yourself. You have to be mindful. So it's useless for me to sit in here and guide you. You have to do it on your own. Attahi atano nato. I can only tell you the method. Then it's up to you to do it. Ajahn, with our current pandemic situation, what should we do? We should contemplate on the impermanent nature of life, that we all will have to end our life one day, regardless of whether we have pandemic or not. So we have to be prepared, be ready for the end of life. And if we are ready, then we will not be hurt when it happens. Or when we're living, we will not worry about it. So keep reminding yourself life is impermanent. And life is not yourself. The body is not yourself. The body is just your servant. You're just using your servant to satisfy your craving and your desire, that's all. So you don't die with your body. You go on, either go on to Nibbana or continue on in samsara. If you want to get to Nibbana, then you have to practice vipassana and samatha bhavana. Po Long Soon, what are type of chant need us to chant every day? Maybe 2 times chant a day, morning and evening. You can choose any kind of chant you like. And they have this morning and evening chanting. You can go search in the internet for morning chanting and evening chanting. Dhamma Karawa, Venerable Ajahn, can you help explain about the beginning stage of practicing Anapanasati that we practice with? Okay, I have to look at the screen for this. That we practice with the concept of the breath. I read and heard that is the stage that we use perception. And next step is using the mind to observe the breath. I think the simplest way to meditate is just to keep watching the breath with mindfulness. Don't worry whether you are using perception or whatever. Just be mindful. Just keep watching your breath. Know your breath coming in and knowing your breath going out at the tip of your nose. And that's all you need to know. And then this will take you through the various stages of the practice and eventually ending in jhana. So just keep watching your breath. That's all you have to do. Okay. I need Lam again. Every time I start meditating more, I could feel the presence of other beings. I radiate metta, but I get chills. You should not pay attention to them when you practice meditation. Maybe they just come and watch you. They won't hurt you or do anything to harm you. So just say hello and then come back to do your meditation. If you think they want merits from you, then when you are not meditating, if you have time, then you can do some dana, some charity. And after you have done the charity or dana, then you can dedicate the merit that you have done for them. Okay, 54 minutes already have passed by. That's quite quickly, really. It seems like just a few minutes ago. So I'll stay until about 1 hour, okay? And then I will have to stop and go do my other chores. So this is quite interesting. This is the first time having this tool in your hand and not knowing it. Then suddenly it just dawned on me, yes, I can do this also. Why not? I try it. So I did, and it seems to work well. You can hear my answer, right, as you type your question. How do I encourage my children to involve with Buddhists? You have to do with them. Whatever you do, you take them along. When you do dana, you take them along. When you do chanting, you take them along. They learn from you. They eat with you. They sleep with you. So if you do dana, they will do dana with you. If you do chanting, they will chant with you. Then eventually it will become part of their habit. Joshua life. Ajahn, when I meditate, I recite Bhutto, but I still cannot calm my mind. What should I do? Because your mind is still restless. You should develop mindfulness before you meditate. You should recite Bhutto long before you meditate. You can recite Bhutto all day long, from the time you get up to the time you go to sleep. If you can have Bhutto like this, then when you meditate, you can calm your mind very easily. Okay. It works amazingly. Good. Ajahn, after watching the breath for a while, I noticed I cannot feel the breath anymore. What should I do next? Just watch the emptiness. Watch the mind itself. Watch whether you are thinking or not. If you are thinking, then you should stop it. Don't follow your thought. Just keep watching and don't try to think about the breath. Just keep watching. Watch the emptiness. If you think you should stop from thinking, then your mind will eventually drop into calm. Okay, your voice is very clear also. Thank you. Jiep Binda Rodniem, thank you very much, Ajahn. I will keep watching my breath in and out. Keep doing my meditation. Okay. Mary Am, Satu Satu. Polling soon, but they ignore to follow very, very sad. Thanks with gratitude, Metta. From Somi Go. Okay, we have about 3 minutes left. So anybody have any question, you have to send in within the 3 minutes time. After that, I will have to stop this meeting for today. But I now know how to communicate with you. So whenever I have some spare time, I can come in and say hello and ask and answer your question. I do listen some teaching using breathing in out through organ of body. I don't understand your question, Po Ling Soon. When you watch your breathing, you should watch at the actual of the breath itself. The breath is your object of your concentration or focus. Should watch the breath wherever the breath is. Usually it comes in and goes out at the tip of your nose. So we're almost running out of time. We have only about 1 minute left. So when it says 60 minutes, I then will have to say goodbye for today. But now I know how to reach you under this new method. And it's easier for me than using Zoom also. Kelvin Sudato, is light a necessary result of one in concentration such as jhana? Not necessarily. Sometimes it appears and sometimes it doesn't appear. It doesn't matter. What you want is calm, peace, and happiness. Is vegetarian diet critical to our meditation? No. You can eat anything. The point is not to eat too much, that's all. Whether you eat vegetarian or meat, if you eat too much, it becomes a hindrance. You can become lazy and sleepy. So try to eat as little as possible. Pante, may I know tomorrow still have life? Who knows what tomorrow brings? I cannot say about the future. But if I'm still alive and if I have time, I'll come live like this at about the same time. Or tomorrow I'm busy, I have some other appointment, I'm sorry. But just wait, when I come live, just set the alarm. When I come live, then you can come in. From Jenny Lee, dear Ajahn, how do we properly contemplate on death? You just think that this is normal, death is part of life. Yeah. You should not be afraid, because who dies is not you, it is the death of the body. But you don't die with the body. You're the one who contemplates doesn't die with the body. You want to teach the mind that to let go of the body, because if you cling to the body, you can be extremely painful. You will be overwhelmed with grief and suffering or fear. But if you know that the body is not you, and that one day you have to give it up, if you feel you cannot contemplate on death, it means your mind is not calm enough. So you should learn to meditate to calm your mind first. After your mind has become calm, then you can look at death in the face. Is only this way the best breathing? Yes, the way that I told you, to focus on the tip of your nose, not any other place. Don't move around, just stay in one place. Joshua Lai, Ajahn, why some monk teaching meditation is different than Buddha? Because they did not study the Buddha's teaching. They might study from other monks, and these other monks might not have studied from the Buddha teaching, that's why. So we should stick to the Tipitaka when we start studying the teaching of the Buddha, before we go to study from other teachers or monks. Then we will know whether they are teaching according to the teaching of the Buddha or not. Kema Jenny, Maha Satu to your Dhamma sharing Longpo. Many of my doubts being answered via your talks and answer in Zoom. In Zoom? Okay. Okay. Amitsaki. Okay, Jenny. I have to look. Okay, my Jenny down. Okay. Paul Deng Soon, this is very good. We can communicate with Ajahn through this Facebook. Very happy and do receiving many answers from Ajahn. Sadhu, sadhu. Lisa Wu, this session is so effective and good. Thanks, Ajahn. Okay, thanks. Thank you all for coming. The thing here is 1 hour already, and I'm running out of steam. So I would like to take a break and take some water and do some other chores. So I have to say goodbye. Oh, there's one more from Grape Outreach. Why is it that giving up this particular body completely makes all other existences deva better? We are the most grateful and appreciative of this, and hope this is not too strenuous for you. No, it is okay. I'm enjoying it. Okay. Thank you very much for coming in and ask questions. And we'll meet again next time. I cannot say when, but usually around this time, if I'm not busy doing something else. Just set up the alarm for the live session, and when it appears, then you can then come in and ask the questions. So in the meantime, please keep on practicing. Because this is the only way that will lead you to enlightenment. Not speculation, not study. You have to practice. If you don't practice, you cannot become enlightened. Alright, thank you and goodbye. Hi, how are you? Good afternoon. Today I'm here to answer some of your questions. Can you hear me okay? Please let me know by typing your comment in the commentary box. Okay. What does this finished mean? Okay. So here I am. Patsy Chung. Okay. Can you hear me? Okay. The sound all right? Hi. Gleb Otwich. Can you hear me? Is the sound okay? Please let me know. I haven't tested the sound. I don't know if you're hearing me or not. Sound very good. Very good. Thank you. Okay. If anybody has any question, please type them in and I'll try to give you the answer. Your sound is great. Okay, thank you, Ajahn. Sound is excellent. Okay. Anybody got any question? Good afternoon. I can hear you. I can hear you quite okay. The sound is okay. Fine. If I move closer, maybe it will be louder. Let me see how to get myself in the middle of the screen. Okay. Let me switch to my glasses. This one is not as clear. By seeing dukkha and anatta in the body and other phenomena, does this mean the mind also abandons desire for higher? See more. I cannot see more from here. So let me use the PC to answer your question because the PC is not better. By seeing dukkha and anatta in body and other phenomena, does this mean the mind also abandons desire for higher realms of existence? No, because when you abandon the body, you abandon the realms of sensual desire. And after you have abandoned the sphere of sensual desire, you become attached to the higher realm of existence, of rupa and arupa, the realms of the form and the formless. But low volume, okay. This is about as loud as it can get. I'm speaking as close to it as possible. So you have to turn up your volume. from Joy's shore, must we have jhana before we develop wisdom? Yes, because without jhana you will not be able to use the wisdom that you have developed to get rid of your desire. So there are three types of wisdom. See, the first wisdom is called Sutta Maya Panya, the wisdom that arises from studying, listening to Dhamma talk. Then the second one is called the Cinta Maya Panya. This is the wisdom that arises from contemplation. And the third one is called Bhavana Maya Panya. This is the wisdom that arises with the development of jhana. So you need jhana to get to the third level of wisdom called Panya, Bhavana Maya Panya. This is the contemplation plus jhana. Once you contemplate and you can see things as anicca, dukkha, anatta, and if you have jhana, you will be able to let go. Because the meaning of jhana means you have equanimity. If you have equanimity, then you can let go of your desire. Okay, this is better volume. Okay, Namaskaran, Bhajan, sound is okay. Thank you. Wisdom, Winston Go. In the department of dependent origination, when is being attached, grasped after the wheel of life, samsara, craving. We attach to the body, to the sense organs, because we have sensual desire. So we become too attached to the body to use it to satisfy our sensual desire. So when we lose this body, we go and look for a new body. It's like when you are attached to the phone. When you lose your phone, you will have to go buy a new phone. From Hua Max Lee, how do we meditate on? How do we develop insight? When you meditate, you concentrate your mind on one object, one meditation object, such as your breath or your mantra, to calm your mind, to have peace and happiness. This is called meditation for calm. After you withdraw from the meditation and you feel relaxed, easy, then you contemplate on the truth, on the nature of the three characteristics of existence. Anicca, dukkha, anatta. Everything that we come into contact with are anicca, dukkha, anatta. When we see them being anicca, dukkha, anatta, then we can let go of our attachment. Because if we cling to them, we will suffer when they depart from us. Okay. What Maxley? What do we meditate on? Not how, sorry. You meditate first on your body and other people's body. You contemplate on the impermanent nature, that they are impermanent, they rise and cease. If you don't want to suffer, you don't want to be hurt, you have to let go and let them pass away when the time comes. This is contemplation on the body. Then you contemplate on feelings. Your feeling also changing from good feeling to bad feeling, to neutral feelings. You cannot control them. If you want to only have good feeling, then When you lose the good feeling, you will become sad. So you just have to contemplate that feelings come and go. They are like the weather. And the third one you have to contemplate on is your states of mind. Your mind keeps changing. Sometimes it's sad, sometimes it's happy, sometimes it's elated, sometimes it's depressed. So you have to understand this is their nature and don't try to manipulate or change them. Try to accept them for what they are. Then you will not be hurt by the changing of the states of mind. When I did meditation lately, I felt like myself getting bigger and bigger, like balloon. This is just a deception of your mind creating. So you just ignore it. Keep concentrating on your meditation object. If you're watching your breath, just keep watching your breath. If you're using a mantra, just keep using the mantra. Don't worry about the feeling or the feeling that you are getting bigger or smaller. Or whatever comes up while you meditate, you have to ignore them all and just concentrate on your meditation object. If you want to succeed, meaning if you want the mind to become single pointedness, one pointedness, and become calm, peaceful, and happy. Okay, this is Kun Jiep Brinda Rod Yiem. I hope I answer your question. Lisa Lynn Robinovich, Metta from Israel. Thank you. What Maxley, as to Ajahn explanation, that means we have to contemplation on the five aggregates. That's correct. This is the first target of our contemplation, so that we can let go, so that we can see that the five aggregates is actually anicca, dukkha, anatta, no self in these five aggregates. The body has no self. You are not the body is not you. Feelings are not you, you are not the feelings. So as thoughts and perceptions and consciousness, they are natural phenomena that you cannot control. Any lump, I had that becoming bigger experience before. Yes, it's just a deception the mind creates. So you just forget about it. And just keep concentrating on your meditation object. If not, if you pay attention, you become afraid, or you're trying to make it become smaller, then you will be distracted. And then you will not get to where you should be going. That's why to equanimity, to peace and calm. Joyce Chore, how to reach jhana? Will one know that it is the state? Yes, jhana, to reach jhana you have to concentrate with mindfulness on your meditation object, such as your breath or mantra. When you feel like falling from a high place and your mind becomes peaceful and calm, then you know that you have entered jhana. Gleb Otwich, when experiencing pain during meditation, like in the legs, is that delusion? The pain is real, but it's still the same thing. Whether it's real or not real, they are distractions that you should avoid paying attention to. Just forget about them and keep concentrating on your meditation object. Then you can overcome the pain. The pain will still be there, but your mind will not be disturbed by the pain. Albert Hugh, Ajahn, what is the five aggregates? The five aggregates are the rupa is the body, vedana is feeling, Sanya is perception. Sankhara is volition or thinking. And Vijnana is awareness of the sensual objects coming into contact with the eyes, ears, nose, tongue, and body. These are the five aggregate making up our life. We have rupa, we have the body, we have feeling, we have perception, we have thinking, and we have consciousness or awareness. Max Lee, what about the four elements? Shall we contemplate on the in and out breath or the feeling of the body? When you meditate, you don't want to contemplate, you want to calm your mind, so you concentrate on your breath only. At the tip of your nose. Don't move around, just keep focusing on the tip of the nose, watching your breath coming in and going out. This is meditation for calm. After you come out of your meditation, then you can contemplate on the body as being made up of the four elements. The body is composed of the earth, water, air, and fire element. We take in the earth element by eating food. We eat rice, we eat vegetable, they come from the earth. And water element. And we breathe in the air to take in the air element or the wind element. We drink water, drink liquid, we take in the water element. We take the heat from the sun to get the fire element. So when these four elements combine, they then build up the 32 parts. The hair of the body, the hair of the head, the nail, teeth, skin, flesh, bones, and so forth. This is the body. Okay. Nirvana MP to Ajahn. How can I deal with my anger? I try to control it, but I can't. There are two ways of dealing with your anger. The first method is the temporary one, an easier one. Is to recite a mantra when you're angry, or do some chanting, to pull your mind away from the object of your anger. When you're angry at someone, just recite Bhutto, 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 or chant Iti Piso Bhagava. After you chant for a while, and you don't think about the person that made you angry, then your anger will disappear. But if you think again about that person, you can become angry again. So this is a temporary measure. If you want to have a permanent measure, you have to use wisdom or vipassana. You have to look at the object of your anger as being anatta or anicca. Anatta is that you cannot control that object. That object is like the wind, like the rain, like the snow. They come and go. You cannot control them. You cannot get rid of them. So you just have to learn to live with them. That's all. So when you know that you cannot control them, then you just live with them, embrace them. Then you will not have any anger. Because your anger arises from your desire to control them, to expect good things from them. When you get bad things from them, you become angry. Okay, Dylan Albus, Satu Satu Bante, Sabbe Sankhara Anicca Dukkha Anatta. How karma is following us? How karma is attached to? The karma follow the mind. See, the mind is not anicca dukkha anatta. The one mind or the heart, we call this mano. Mano is the heart or the mind that never dies. The one that never dies. The one who knows. This one go on after death. After the death of the body, the mind or this mano will exist as the spiritual beings and reap the rewards or the consequence of the karma it did while it was alive. and then eventually it will return and take a human birth again. Winston Go. Can I use wholesome thoughts while walking from one point to another? If you want to develop mindfulness, you don't want to think, you want to stop thinking. So you should concentrate on your body movement, such as your step, left, right. You can use the mantra, or you can do some chanting to prevent your mind from thinking. Sadhu, Ajahn will expound from Wat Maxley. Desmond Go, Sadhu, Sadhu. Monica Chen. Good afternoon, Long Po. I see image of skeleton sometimes when I lie down to sleep at night. Fear arises because I thought, let me see. Fear arises because I thought these are spiritual beings. Sometimes this skeleton changes into a female face with flesh. Oh, what happened to my messages? They all disappear. Let me try to refresh it. Okay. Back to your question. Sometimes the skeleton change form into female face with flesh, but many times I open my eyes due to fear. Is the skeleton an object of meditation which I should keep observing? If the fear persists, what should I do? If you have fear, the best thing is to use a mantra and stay away from the skeleton, from the images that cause you fear first, until you have equanimity. Then you can use the skeleton as your object of contemplation to teach your mind that this is part of your body and everybody's body, so that you can see that the body is not beautiful at all when you see the skeleton inside the body of everyone. Okay. There is no me, I or my. Yes, everything are natural phenomena. Everything comes from the five elements: the earth, water, fire, and wind element. This is the body part, and the mind part is made up from the knowing element. They are natural processes. They are natural things. They are not no mind, no self in this thing. We just make it up. The mind just make it up to be a self. Okay, from Suwato, Ajahn, did anatta and dukkha happen because of anicca? No, they are characteristics. They are not dependent on one another. They are what they are. Anicca is they are impermanent. They keep changing. They don't remain the same. Anatta, they cannot be controlled by anybody. They are like the weather, the wind, the rain, and so forth. Dukkha arises from not seeing anicca and anatta. We tend to see everything as niccang and atta, being permanent and belonging to us. That's when we have dukkha, because when they change or when they disappear, then we have dukkha. Okay, Ruby Finn. Where are you? Ruby Finn. Ajahn, is there any difference meditation focusing on breathing with meditation focusing on rising and falling of abdomen? It's the same object of meditation, anapanasati. You can focus on the tip of your nose and watch the breath come in and out, or you can focus on your abdomen. When the wind comes into the body, the abdomen will rise, and when the wind depart from the body, then it will fall. So this is both anapanasati. You either focus at the tip of your nose or at the abdomen to make your mind become one-pointed and become calm, peaceful, and happy. Chi Chin Chuan, Ajahn, do you still have anger nowadays? Well, I don't know. What you want to know is, it's better to ask yourself whether you still have anger or not. And if you still have anger, then you must know how to get rid of it. Your anger arises from your expectation or your desire to get things from other people. When you don't get what you expect or desire, then you become angry. So the way not to get anger is not to expect, not to want anything from anybody. Dylan Alvis, Satu Satu Pante. Could you please explain difference between Citta, Mano, and Citta, Mano, and Vijnana. So Citta, Mano is they're both the knowing elements. The Citta refers to the states of mind that keep changing, like sadness, happiness, restlessness, agitation, depression. These are states of mind. We usually call these Cittas. While Mano refers to the one who knows, the mind itself, or the heart, that is permanent, that never dies. It is the knowing element. While Vijnana is the term we use to refer to the knowing element when it exists alone. When it doesn't have a body. So it exists as a vijnana, or spiritual beings. This vijnana, if it's the vijnana in the five khandha, then it is the awareness of the sense objects that comes into contact with the sense organs. We have Chi Chin Chuan. I am always angry and anxious. Monica Chen. Thank you for your teaching, Luang Por. To develop equanimity, does it mean that I have to develop jhana through samatha meditation? Yes. That's when you get real equanimity, when you enter into the fourth jhana. So you have to develop mindfulness first. Try to maintain mindfulness. Try to stop your thoughts and be in the present. Don't let your mind go into the past or to the future. When you have this mindfulness, then you can watch your breath or recite the mantra, and your mind will then eventually enter into the fourth jhana and have equanimity. Xiao Chang, Ajahn, I wish I can be monk in my future life. I can in touch with Buddha teaching. I can born in Thailand. How can we make this wish possible? You can do it now. Just come to Thailand, give up your job, and then come to Thailand and become a monk. You don't have to wait until next life. There are many people from abroad, from other countries that come to Thailand and become a monk. So you cannot wait until next life, because you cannot control next life when will you be reborn again. and where will you be reborn, and whether there will be Buddhism when you are reborn the next time. You can do it now. So set up your goal to come to Thailand to become a monk. Don't wait until next life. Albert Hill, Ajahn, how do we actually see the difference of heart and the mind? You don't have to see it. You just have to know it. That's all. Know that the heart is the one who knows. The mind are the states, the citta, the states of mind inside the heart. Yeah, you look in yourself. Every day you have changing states of mind. Sometimes you wake up happy. Sometimes you wake up sad. Sometimes you are restless. Sometimes you are peaceful. These are states of mind that is existing in the heart, in the mind, in the one who knows. Ever Chen, good day, Ajahn. I have question why some people could see many devas in their dreams, including bodhisattva. What parami they have done in the past life? Is it better to have dream while sleeping or not at all? How to enhance deeds that lead to meet and learn with authentic teacher? Well, as far as past paramis, I don't know, so I cannot answer your first question. Your second question, is it better to have dream while sleeping or not at all? Well, dreams you cannot control. Dreams are the products of your karma. If you don't want to have dreams, you don't have to if you only want good dreams, you have to do good, do charity, be kind, be nice to other human and living beings. You have to have metta. See? If you have metta, then you will have good dreams. You cannot control dreams because dreams are the products of your karma. How to enhance deeds that lead to meet and learn with authentic teacher? You have to be inclined toward peace and inclined toward learning. Then this will lead you to good people who will teach you to be kind and to be good. Okay, from Jasdeep Singh, can a layperson be an arahant? Yes, anybody can be an arahant if they can fulfill the Noble Eightfold Path, or Sila, Samadhi and Panya. Yes, anybody can become an arahant, free from cycle of birth and death. It's just you have to develop the Eightfold Path or Sila, Samadhi, Panya in order to achieve that. From Rudy Fenn, Ajahn, during meditation, I can feel the heat element very strong. I can see the body is made of few elements. Heat is one of it. I have to contemplate on this. Well, just to know that this is part of the four elements. Besides the heat element, you also have the earth element, the water element, and the wind element. They combine to make up the 32 parts of the body. But when you meditate, you don't want to contemplate, okay? You want to concentrate on your meditation object, because the goal of meditation is to calm your mind, to get your mind into jhana, so that you can become happy and have equanimity. And after you come out of meditation, then you can contemplate on these four elements to teach your mind to let go of your attachment toward the body, to teach your mind that the mind is not the body is not you, you are not the body. Kenny Lee, dear Ajahn, is it okay that we focus around the forehead area if we feel the energy, chi on the area while reciting Bhutto? I think you should focus your attention on the word Bhutto instead. Just keep reciting Bhutto, Bhutto, and be aware of the Bhutto, and don't put it anywhere else. Just stick to the Bhutto. Just keep reciting the Bhutto, Bhutto. But if you want to focus on any point with Bhutto, I think it's okay also. Some people focus on the breath and recite Bhutto as they focus on the breath. This is okay also. The goal is to stop your mind from thinking and enter into jhana. From Joyce Chua again. Ajahn, is it right to say that when the thinking mind is not active, the knowing becomes apparent? Yes. When you stop thinking, then the knowing becomes apparent, because the knowing is in the background. It's in the back of the thinking. When you think, then you see what you think. You don't see the knowing. In fact, the knowing is all the time there. Yes. It's only I can keep it with it because I don't have powerful mindfulness. Yes, you have to have mindfulness to stop thinking and to be merely knowing. Then you'll come to see the knowing. Jasdeep Singh again. Dear Ajahn, where is the mind actually? Physically we tend to point to our head and refer to the brain, but the mind is not there. That's right, the mind is in a different dimension from the body. The body is in the earth, in the dimension of the what we call the Dhatu realm, the realm of the four elements. While the mind exists in the realm of the spirit, of the spiritual. So it is not in the body. It just connects the body with the stream of consciousness that it extends and attached to the five sense organs, so that it can then receive the sense objects, such as the visual, audio, that comes into contact with the eyes and ears. Xiao Shang, Ajahn, I ask on behalf of my friend. I am a starter in meditation. Today, after meditate for 15 minutes, I feel dizzy. After coming out from meditation, better focus and longer. The longer you can focus, the better. Yeah. So, if you feel dizzy, it might be some reason. Might not because of meditation. Maybe something is wrong with your body. So, if you meditate, you shouldn't get any dizziness. If you get it, maybe just temporary. So just ignore it. Don't be discouraged by this dizziness. And stop meditating. Keep meditating. When you meditate, stop thinking and just keep focusing on your meditation object. I have Chi Chin Chuan. I have never really meditated. When I try, I can meditate only for 5 minutes. Then I feel agitated. How can I meditate with better focus and longer? You have to develop more mindfulness before you meditating. You can develop mindfulness all the time, from the time you get up to the time you go to sleep. When you open up your eyes, before you start to think, you should start reciting the mantra, Bhutto, Bhutto. And keep reciting the mantra as you go along with your activity. You're taking a shower, you're dressing, you're eating, just keep reciting the Bhutto. Then you will have stronger mindfulness. And when you sit and meditate, you will be able to meditate longer, and the mind can become calmer and happier. Hi AU, how do we guide a dying person who is in coma to think good happy thoughts so that he can obtain a good rebirth? No, you cannot. You have to guide them before they enter into coma. The Buddha said we have to learn to calm the mind before we die, because when we enter death, we cannot control the mind anymore. Can chanting a mantra help him? He has to chant himself. If he cannot chant himself, then he cannot calm his mind. Karina Me Oi, Ajahn, hope you are well. This day it seems like my mindfulness is stronger in knowing my deeds on daily, but my meditation seems stagnant at the in and out of my breath. The mind seems to stay between the calmness and the breath. It dropped for a while, but instantly back to my breath again. This has been happening many times. Should I start to contemplate? No, you just keep on concentrating on your breath. And don't anticipate, don't expect the result. Just keep contemplating. Just keep concentrating on your breath. Don't contemplate, don't think. Or only when the thought arises before bedding. You only contemplate when you're not meditating, because contemplation will block you from entering into peace and calm. So you have to concentrate either on your mantra or on your breath. Hi Gleb Otwich, dear Long Paul. If an experienced meditator develops Alzheimer's or brain reduced in function, does the mind still remember and reflect? Yes, the mind is not affected by the sickness of the body, but the mind uses the body, and if the body breaks down or not able to respond to the command of the mind, that doesn't mean that the mind is wrecked or dysfunction. Hi Eng Yu, what do we do when out of the body experiences occur during meditation? We just be aware. That's all. Don't do anything. Just be aware this is so, and come back to your concentration. Come back to your breath or your mantra. Are we dreaming or hallucinating? It can be anything. Sometimes it's dreaming. Sometimes it's hallucinating. Sometimes it's real. So all you have to do is just be mindful, and don't be distracted. Don't be misled by them. Just ignore them and come back to your concentration. L. Terence Leong, dear Ajahn, I am taking care of sick parent at home. I know well my feeling of frustrating and doing many metta for myself to calm down. It is correct? No, you should do metta for the people that you look after. You have to look after them with metta. Then you will not be frustrated. You have to do it out of love and respect or gratefulness to your parents. Then you will not feel frustrating. You don't have to do metta for yourself. No, you cannot guide your parents. You can tell them to contemplate that their body is not themselves. But if they cannot see it, then there's nothing you can do about it. You can tell her to chant, or to listen to Dhamma talks, or to meditate, focusing on the breath. This can ease her suffering. Hi Eng Il, EWE, why is it so difficult to forgive our enemies when we meet them in real life, even though we spread metta to them during meditation? That's because you spread the metta at the wrong time, see. You should spread the metta when you meet them, not when you finish with your meditation. When you do that during meditation, you are practicing to spread metta. So when you see people, you see your enemies, then that's the time for you to spread metta. If you prepare your mind to spread metta beforehand, when you get to see them, then you can do it. If you cannot do that, then you should try to remain calm by reciting the Bhutto, the mantra Bhutto Bhutto when you meet your enemies. Then at least you can remain non-reactive. But it might take time for you to eventually forgive your enemies. Chen YCH, dear Ajahn, if the one who knows is permanent, why does the doctrine of anatta say there is no permanent self? Well, because the one who knows is not a self either. See? The one who knows is just the one who knows. It is not a self either. Any lam, Ajahn, is jhana like entering an empty room? Yes. When you enter into jhana, everything is inside of your mind is empty. No thought, no emotion. It's like floating in space. Even the perception of your body disappears from the mind. Dealing always, Satu Satu Bante. What exactly happens when we see things? Could you please explain using Phassa, Vedana, Sanya, Cetana, Manasikara? See, when you see things, your perception will try to figure out what do you see, good or bad. If your perception or sanya say this is bad thing, then you get bad feelings. See, when you see somebody you don't like, sanya will say this is the person who did something bad to you before. When you see that person, then you will get bad feelings. When you get bad feelings, sankhara will tell you to stay away from this person. See? This is how the mind works when it comes into contact with the sense objects. The perception of sanya will then try to remember who this image is, or what is this sound, good or bad. When it has determined, then it will have the corresponding feelings of good or bad feelings. When you have good or bad feelings, then sankhara, your thought will start to think, if it's good feeling, then I should get it. If it's bad feeling, then I should stay away or run away from it. Chi Chin Chuan, Ajahn, just now you say once I awake, I should chant Bhutto, Bhutto, Bhutto. Can I chant other words like aware, aware? Yes, you can chant other words, aware, anicca, alert, alert. Anything to keep your mind from thinking, that's all. That's the goal, is to stop thinking. You can chant stop thinking, don't think, don't think, don't think. This is also possible. J.K. Bhatia, what do you think about Dr. Ambedkar? I'm sorry, I don't know. I don't know him, so I cannot give you any opinion about him. Anura Kamalat, dear Ajahn, can one attain Sotapanna once Rupakanda is understood to have three characteristics, or is it necessary to understand Namakanda as well? Yes, you have to understand both the Rupa and the Namakandas as being anicca, dukkha, anatta, constantly changing. The Rupa is the body. You have to accept that the body will become old and die. And the Namakanda is the feeling. See, you have to accept that painful feeling will arise. Painful feeling, good feeling, and not painful or good feeling will arise. They keep changing. You cannot force them to go away when they come up, when they arise, when they exist. If you want them to disappear, you can have dukkha, because you have desire to get rid of your painful feelings. So when your painful feeling appears, or in sickness, then you just have to remain calm and accept the painful feeling. Once you have no fear of painful feeling, no fear of sickness, no fear of aging, no fear of death, then you have become a Sotapanna. Yes, I don't know. Dr. Ambedkar, who is he? Can you tell me? Chi Chin Chuan, Ajahn, someone gave me relics and hair of Ajahn Man. What do I do with those? You just put in a respectful place and pay respect whenever you come across, showing respect to. It's like part of him. It is part of him. It's like meeting Ajahn Man. So when you see the relics of Ajahn Man, you should pay respect. I don't think you can use it to help you in your meditation. What helps you to meditate is to be mindful. So you should try to maintain mindfulness, developing mindfulness as much as possible before you meditate. Okay, we are about 51 minutes into the meeting now. I think I'll set the time limit to about 1 hour. So we have about 9 minutes left for this meeting. So anybody who still wants to ask question can still send in the question. In the meantime, I'll take a little rest by keeping quiet. So is my voice sound okay to you? Loud enough, clear enough? Is my explanation of the Dhamma is clear enough, understandable? If not, please send in your comment. It's okay with me for you to criticize me. It doesn't matter. If it's for the purpose of improvement, I'm willing to listen to what you have to say. Just Deep Singh, dear Ajahn, how do we forgive those who have hurt us? Just think that it is you're paying your bad karma. In the past, you might have hurt this person, so now he has to come and get it back from you. So he has to come and hurt you. Just think that is part of payment. You owe him. You hurt him before in your past life. Now he wants to take it back. So just let him hurt you. When he has done what he wants to do, then he'll leave you alone. Okay, and you can forgive him, because at least you feel released from your consequence. You have paid your consequence. Now you know that he will no longer hurt you. Adele Dibante, you asked me to read your comment, but where is your comment? I don't see it. Is it in the commentary box here? I don't see it yet. Dhamminda Jeremy SCE. Ajahn, you missed out one question earlier. So can you resend it? Because sometimes it just come and go very quickly, and I didn't see it. So I'm sorry. If you want me to reply to your question, please send in your question again. Chi Chin Chuan, thank you, Ajahn. I will start chanting Stop Thinking once I am awake. Good. Okay. Clip of which very good sound and explanation. J.K. Bhatia, you do not know Dr. Ambedkar, the highest conversant person in the world after Mahatma Buddha. Well, now I know, thank you. Adelaide Bethany, my comment has been jumped. Yes, I'm sorry. I don't know. Can you resend it again? Chi Chin Chuan, yes, very simple and concise for Raymond like me. And Nicole Bante, how to handle If when meditate, body shaking to right and left, thanks. It means you don't have mindfulness. So you have to recite the mantra. Keep reciting the mantra to bring back your mindfulness. Then your body will not shake. The reason why it shakes is because you don't have mindfulness to control your mind. Then the mind starts shaking the body. So you have to use mindfulness to stop the shaking. Keep reciting Bhutto, Bhutto, Bhutto. Then you will become awake again. Then you will be mindful again. Then you will then stop shaking your body. Okay, the sound is loud and clear. Ajahn, the camera angle is good. Sorry, and sometimes I have to look at the computer screen because the message on the phone is very small. So I have to look up, so it seems like I'm looking up. But actually I'm just looking on the level. I'm looking at the computer screen. So don't worry about my head, it's okay. J.K. Bhatia, Dr. Ambedkar is more than Buddha. Really, very good. Very happy to hear that. Eric Sidner, yes, very clear actually. I think better to hear you now than before. Less echo. And your Dhamma response is always wonderful. Very, very clear and easy to understand. Thank you so much for being here for us and inspiring us all. Thank you. You're welcome, Eric Sidner. Adelaide Dibante, yes, I said it again. Okay, now I can see it. Ajahn, thank you for your will to help us and your responsibility. I need help in one point, and we'll first talk about the context. I had nurse as job, work in special care, psychiatry, and with old people. At that time, I know a little about Buddhism, but was still practicing in the Indian Sikh tradition. Nevertheless, looking at intestine out of body, skin cancer, eating face with repulsive smell, etc., I was telling myself, I am doing Buddhist contemplation. I found very meaningful to see people dying. In 1 minute, the body is no more than an empty shell. Nobody there anymore. The most difficult was to see how old people and the state they can reach. It is very confronting. They can even show a lot of perversity. Or it can take years before they die. With bodies they cannot control anymore, and bed sores all over the place, completely dependent on others. I don't know, in that state, what spiritual work they still can do, if their mind is not already very bright before they enter the states. That is what I would fear for having made a similar experience, holding an army of ghosts who have been killed in extreme fear during a battle and looking for help. I nearly died, and the weight on me was terrible. I was feeling completely cut from any spirituality and sucked into a ravine. I had lost all the pity and spiritual happiness, free of conditions, I used to have. It was just heavy and black, and with a fear, without object, that I could recognize, not being mine. The most difficult was that I could not pray. I could not meditate. I could not focus on anything without getting headaches and nearly fainting. I had to change activities nearly every 5 minutes. Thanks to Cadice's medium healing case in Brazil, who could help all this army to evaluate, freeing me. Nevertheless, life energy has been severely compromised, and I could experiment for myself many of the troubles old people are passing through. Thank you to the Dhamma, who has helped me to have some recovering, despite of still many lacks, but being quite functional again, and being able to pray and meditate, but not as before. I am actually, since I met you 4 years ago, living in Dhamma Youth Wat Pa, the Ankalika life, working on behalf, on being mindful all the time. I can observe my body decaying, but I don't think I am refusing it, but trying to do my best in order not to become dependent on others and wait, and in order to have some energy in order to practice. I don't think either I am afraid of letting that body, which I have always considered since my childhood as a burden for the mind, but that I had to learn to be grateful for it, for being a fool to do the necessary spiritual work. Some dreams I have had or some events seems to confirm that feeling of not being afraid of letting go of the body. Recently I had to go through different surgeries in a short lapse of time in order to keep some functional independency, taking advantage of the lockdown. Okay, I think this is your whole life story I'm reading. Maybe I have to go to the end so to find out what you want to ask me. Could Ajahn advise me how to deal with those difficulties as time is passing quick, decaying, going along, and I'm mostly concerned by not having to come back in sensual world. Just keep developing mindfulness and wisdom. Mindfulness is to focus on one object, stop thinking. And wisdom, you have to contemplate on the anicca, dukkha, anatta, on your body, on your feeling, and on your states of mind, so that you can let go of them, not being attached to them. Then you would have no any desire for sensual desire, or desire for being, or desire for not being. Then you will not have to return and reborn again. Okay, Jiep Rodniam, Ajahn, I will keep doing meditation, observing breath in and out and chanting. Thank you very much for your kindness, Ka. Namanda Jeremy SCE, it is just that I find your response very good and looking forward to your comment of Adelaide. Okay, you have heard my comment. I just tell her to keep developing mindfulness and wisdom, then all the problem will be solved. Joyce Cho, thank you Ajahn. The session is very helpful. Okay, Dylan always, thank you very much for the explanation, Bhante. May the blessing of the noble triple gem guide you to supreme bliss of Nibbana. Sadhu, sadhu, Bhante. Eva Chen, thank you Ajahn. Today can listen to your Dhamma is truly blessing. Okay. Anumodana from Morris Twai, Angela Dick, Kema Jenny. All right, we have completed 1 hour of discussion, so we are about to close this meeting after I answer the remaining question from Annie Cole. Bhante, back to my first question about body shaking. I feel it when the meditate already going in a few minutes. Can say already calm. So what I must do if happen? You should just contemplate. You should just focus on your meditation object. If you're watching your breath, keep watching your breath and ignore the shaking. If you're reciting the mantra, just keep reciting the mantra, and ignore everything else. I must continue meditate at that moment, or must stop a while. Thank you. Keep meditating. Keep focusing. Keep concentrating on your meditation object, then everything will eventually stop. Okay, Kwantan, Sadhu, Sadhu, Jadip Singh, thank you Ajahn. Karina, may you be well, thank you. All right, we have about 73 people watching this broadcast right now. Thank you for coming in and sending in your question. I think that's all the time I have for you today. I will try to come back again when I'm free and available. In the meantime, please keep on practicing, and I can promise you that you will eventually become enlightened in this lifetime. Thank you and goodbye. Good morning, everybody. see you again, this time in a different format. This is live. I will answer your question if you send in your question in the commentary box. Please type in your question. If you got any question, just type the question in the commentary box. Hi Nirosha, good morning. Nice to see you. Hi Jurarat Achinton. Hi Mil on meditation. Can you listen to me? Is the sound okay? Is it loud enough? Christine Kutkowski. Hi Tanajan. No question right now, but we'll listen. Good to hear from you. Kema Jenny, good morning, Luang Po. จุฬารัตน์เสียงเบาไปนิดเจ้าค่ะอย่างนี้ดังขึ้นไหม Is it louder now? Okay, meal on meditation. I hear you okay. Christine said good sound. Thank you. Nirosha, good morning, Ajahn. Yes, clear, Ajahn. Yes, I'm using an old iPhone. This is an iPhone 5. It's a very small phone. I can hold it in my hand and close or move it around. So I think this is quite comfortable using this method. So if anybody got any questions, please type in the question and I will answer the question. It's about 3:52 a.m. in Thailand right now. The weather is about 28 Celsius. Okay, Nirosha, you have a question. If you can explain the connection between 5 aggregates and dependent origination. Okay, dependent origination is the roadmap or the working of the mind by using the 5 aggregates. The mind has avijja or ignorant or delusion. This delusion or ignorance then condition the mind to search for happiness outside of the mind. The mind doesn't know that it has happiness within itself, so it seeks happiness outside by using sankhara, the thoughts, the thinking process, to go search for happiness outside. When the mind thinks, then the mind sends the vijnana, or the sense awareness, sensual awareness, toward the sensual organs, the 5 sensual organs. They are the eyes, ears, nose, tongue, and body. And then when the eyes, ears, nose, tongue, and body come into contact with the sound, with the images, sound, smell, taste, and tactile objects, it has feelings of good or bad or neutral feelings. Then when there are feelings, there comes the desire. Either if it's good feeling, you have the desire to possess that object. If you have bad feeling, you have the desire to get rid of that object. And when you have feeling, you have desire, then you have attachment to that object, one way or the other. Then after you have attachment, when that object passes away, disappears, then you want to have that object again. So you have power, which means becoming. When you have becoming, when the body dies, but you still have attachment, you still have the desire for the 5 sensual objects, then you will have to take rebirth, getting a new body, so they can use the new body to connect with the 5 sensual objects again. So this is how rebirth works. Due to the delusion of the mind, or the ignorance of the mind, not knowing that there is a better kind of happiness it can have within itself. That's the happiness that you gain from meditation. Okay, I hope this will briefly is briefly my explanation. I hope you understand. If you have any question, please send further question. Good morning, Ajahn from Tokyo, Robert Daust. From Christine Kudkowski. I found it very hard to practice when I was ill, but I listened to as much Dhamma as I could. I'm back at my practice, but I see I need more mindfulness. Hard to get. Settle down. Yes, mindfulness is the key to your success in meditation. So you have to try to focus your mind on the present. Keep the mind in the present. Don't let your mind go to the past or to the future, or to here, to go there and everywhere. Bring it back here now by using a mantra or by concentrating on what you do with your body. Okay, I'm back again. How is the sound this time? Is it okay? Okay. I think the sound is all right now. So if you can connect with me, I'll try to answer the last question again. Okay, someone asked about the 4 Itipata. Itibat. Itibat means the path to success or to achievement. It has the 4 Nama qualities: Chanta, Viriya, Citta, Vimamsa. Chanta can be translated as the motivation. You have to have motivation in order to do something. Once you have the motivation, then you will have the Viriya, which is the energy to do what you have to do. And your mind will have Citta, meaning concentration. Your mind will concentrate on the things that you have to do, such as the Dhamma practice. And Vimamsa means thinking. Your mind will be thinking about just the Dhamma practice, not anything else. So first you have to be motivated. You have to have Chanta. In order to have Chanta, you have to study the teaching of the Buddha, study the biography, the life of the Buddha and his noble disciple, and the result that you can get from the practice, the Dhamma. Once you know that you can be free from suffering, you can attain to Nibbana, then you will be motivated. Once you have motivation, then you will have the energy to practice, to do the practice. And your mind will only keep concentrating on doing just the practice. You don't want to go do other things. This is citta. And the fourth one, your mind will be thinking about just the Dhamma practice and nothing else. So if you have these four qualities in yourself, then you will be practicing Dhamma all the time, 100%. And once you have practiced this 100%, you can attain to Nibbana within this lifetime. Like the Buddha said, either 7 days or 7 months or 7 years. Okay? Okay. Anybody has any more questions, please send them in. If my answer to the last question is not clear enough, you can ask me to clarify. Itibat, 4 itibat. Iti means power. Bat means path to power, path to achievement, path to success. Okay, sound quality is excellent now from Satyaku. From Varataya, Grab Namaskaran and good morning to Tanajan. Good morning to you. I heard you did some charity to the school, the Supreme Patriarch School. You gave a free meal to the students. There's about 100 students in the school. And I heard that you will be giving them ice cream next week. So I appreciate and happy to hear that you are helping the students. Gleb Outwich, good morning. It's 7:20 a.m. here in Australia. It's 4:15 here in Thailand. Nirosha, I have heard about the out-of-body experiences, how the mind is connected to body when it is out. Thank you, Ajahn. When the mind is out, experience the out-of-body experiences, the body is still there, but the mind just doesn't use the body at that time. Like when you go to sleep, you dream. Your dream is actually out-of-body experience. It's in the mind, see. But the dreams are usually created by the mind itself. But if you have psychic power, you can connect the mind with other mind, other being, other spiritual beings. Like when the Buddha gave Dhamma talks to the Devas, he used his psychic power to connect with the spiritual beings. So you have to have this special power in order to be able to connect to other spiritual beings. To have this psychic power is a special thing. It doesn't happen to every meditator. From what I heard, only about 5% of meditators will have this special power of being able to connect with other spiritual beings, or be able to read the mind of other people, being able to recollect past lives. So, but it's not requisite to enlightenment, and it can become a distraction if you keep going after this out-of-body experience. Then you won't be practicing samadhi, appana samadhi, and vipassana bhavana. So if you have this psychic power, you should not use it when you are trying to become enlightened. You only use this psychic power after you become enlightened. If not, then you will be distracted from your main goal of practicing to become enlightened. Corinne Kaur, Sadhu Sadhu. Varataya, I am most grateful to be able to do this. Sapriu Chai, Namaskaran to Tanajan. Yes. Okay. The school that I was talking about is a grade school for boys, boarding school, from grade 7 to 9. So it's a junior high school for boys. There's only 3 classes and about 45 students in each class. This is a school founded and supported by the Supreme Patriarch of Thailand, the previous one, the one who built Wat Yannasangwararam, the temple where I am staying right now. The purpose is to add some religious teaching into the school, Buddhist teaching, so that the student will know the basic teaching of the Buddha and the basic practice of Buddhists. Because nowadays Thailand has been becoming more secular, more in tune with the international community. So lots of the teaching of Buddha, which was used to be taught in the school, has been eliminated. So we see that Thai students are not knowledgeable about the Buddha's teaching, and their morality has deteriorated. So this kind of alarm the Thai Buddhist community. So the Supreme Patriarch then decided to establish this junior high school and let the student who come and study to stay in the school and provide them with free accommodation, free food, and free tuition. So sometimes when people want to make charity, instead of giving food to monks, they can go to the school and give food for the students. Okay, let me come back to more of your question. Nirosha, I don't have it. My good Thai friend has it, and I enjoy hearing her stories. Okay. Jurarat Gachinton, please kindly advise more samamak to Nibbana. She wants to hear about the Noble Eightfold Path, I guess. The Noble Eightfold Path has 8 factors. The first one is right view. You have to have the view that you are not the body, you are the mind. And your mind is being deluded to go seek happiness through the body. So what you want to do is to stop this process. And in order to stop this process, you have to have right thought. Once you know that you are going in the wrong direction, instead of going inside, you are going outside. So you then start thinking about doing meditation, to bring your mind inside, to make your mind happy. And when you think like this, you have samma sankappo, right thoughts. When you have right thought, then you will have right action. In order to meditate, you have to keep the 8 precepts. So you have right action and right speech and right livelihood. Your livelihood now is not to make money, but to meditate. And then you will have, once you start practicing, you will be developing right sati, right mindfulness. And once you have right mindfulness, you can meditate and have right samadhi, the appana samadhi. Once you have Appana Samadhi, then you will have equanimity to have the mind to stop the desire for sensual pleasure, the desire to be, and the desire not to be. Then you will then achieve Nibbana after you have eliminated the three desires from your heart, from your mind. You can connect Anumodana for the dana to the school. Let us know if we can help with any donation. The school has the Facebook page in Thai called Puru Yososo 80. So you can go into the school Facebook page and they have contact, you can contact them. Contact information, you can contact with them. Adelaide de Bethany, Thanajan, you have expressed the wish. We make comments when we were not satisfied by the answer in order to improve. Short time ago, I sent in a long comment in order not to speak about me and my story, but to be able to have an answer, knowing more of the element around the situation. Since 6 years asking questions to you through messenger, I have read all your books and listened to your talks and question and answer. I did not find in your answer help I was looking for, as I already know the process through your teaching and those of Luang Ta. No speaking Thai, I have hard to question with those precision the Kruba Ajahn I am living with and passing through translation. It is nearly impossible for what I have already experienced. The time you could get my commentary on your screen as it had passed without you could catch it still took longer, and then it was not far from the end of the session. Half of what I wrote has not been read in order to go right into the question. But finally I'm not getting any more help than what I already know by the teaching. I need to know if you could help me in the difficulties I have. Knowing the context, when I already know and already intend to apply myself to follow the teaching, I would have really welcomed any advices you could give me in this context with the difficulty I'm facing. If I am doing anything wrong writing those comments, please tell me. I'm just concerned by learning and correct myself. Thank you, Ajahn, for your time and all my respect. See, I cannot read all your comments, which is almost like half a book. So I have to ask you to just to summarize what you want me to tell you, because like you should make the story short, because I don't have the time to read all the things that you mentioned. So I skip and then I just come to the end of your commentary. And I can just summarize that you have dukkha. And in order to solve dukkha, you have to develop magga, meaning you have to practice meditation and do contemplation on the three characteristics of existence. So this is just what you have to do. Please keep meditating, developing mindfulness, and then contemplate on the impermanent nature of your life, of aging, sickness, and death. And if you can see the truth and accept the truth, then you will not have any dukkha in your mind. Okay? I hope this more or less answer what you want me to say. Dear Lin, always Satu Satu Bante. If there are no, if there is a knowing element and transfer from one life to another without habit, like dislike, etc., how can we say it's anatta? It's anatta is because it's not you. See, there's no self in this knowing element. The you is created by your delusion. When you stop when you stop thinking, stop creating this delusion, then the self will disappear. You experience this in your meditation. When your mind becomes completely calm, then your delusion stop working temporarily. Then the perception of self will disappear, and there will be no self in your meditation, in your calm. There's only emptiness. Priyanta Jaya Vikrama, the Ajahn, please explain 5 hindrances and how a lay person remove this. Okay, the first hindrance is doubt in the Buddha, Dhamma, and the Sangha. You might doubt whether the Buddha really exists. You might doubt whether his teaching can give you what it promises. So in order to get rid of this doubt, you have to study the Buddha's life, study his teaching, or study the teaching of the noble disciple by either reading books or listen to Dhamma talks. And after you have done this, you will be convinced that the Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha are real. Then you won't have any doubt. Then you can fully commit yourself to the teaching, practicing the teaching of the Buddha. So this is the first hindrance you have to get rid of, is your doubt in the Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha. By studying more and more, the more study, the more you know, then the doubt you had will be eliminated. The second hindrance is called sensual desire. You have to take up the 8 precepts to prevent you from going after your sensual desire. Okay? And the third one is sloth and torpor. This is from eating too much. So you have to eat moderation in eating. The fourth one is anger. Sometimes you get angry when you meditate because someone might disturb you. When you get angry, then you should use metta, use loving kindness. You should forgive the person that made you angry, because this is part of life. You're living in the world. You have to deal with people, and sometimes people might do things that make you angry. But it's not good to be angry, because then you will not be able to meditate. But if you forgive, consider this part of life, or consider this is like the weather. Sometimes you have good weather, sometimes you have bad weather. So if you can forgive, then you will not be angry. Then you can come back and meditate. The last one is restlessness and agitation. You can get rid of this by developing mindfulness, reciting a mantra, Bhutto, 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 to prevent your mind from thinking. When your mind is not thinking, then the mind will not be restless or agitated. Okay? So this is the 5 hindrances and how to get rid of it. From Gleb Outwich, how to deal with anger when seeing injustice in the world, like bad violence or innocent people getting hurt. The Buddha said that all beings are subjected to their good and bad karma. So if you do good karma, you will reap the consequence of good karma. If you do bad karma, you will reap the consequence of your bad karma. So this is that's what happened to the world. People suffer badly because in the past life they did some bad karma. Some people don't suffer much because they had good karma. And also, being born is, you will be subjected to suffering, suffering from injustice and violence, because this is the way how this world works. So the only way to deal with anger is to accept the reality, and then try to meditate and to stop being reborn again in this world. Okay, Sapru Chai, how to be aware of each moment to the moment, so as not to be interrupted when we have to work to make a living. Because I have not done it for a long time, my mind is difficult to return to a more peaceful mind, because I know this is not good, Ajahn. I feel discomfort in my mind. So if you have to work, just try to concentrate on what you do. Don't let your mind think about other things. This is being mindful. And when you don't have to think about your work, then you should use a mantra to stop your mind from thinking. And when you have day off, rather than spend time looking for happiness from the sensual objects, you should seek solitude or seclusion and try to develop mindfulness and meditation. Then you will then be able to calm your mind and make your mind happy. From Varataya, Thanajan, I am just primarily focusing on my mantra Bhutto to build strong mindfulness. This is my main objective for now, and not spread myself too thin. Is this okay? Seems like without this, I cannot progress with strength. Yes, this is the best way for you to concentrate on mindfulness, build up strong mindfulness, and build up more peace and calm in your mind. You want to be peaceful, calm, and happy. Once you have this happiness in your mind, then you can direct your mind, teach your mind to give up the other type of happiness by seeing that they are anicca, dukkha, anatta. If you are not happy, then even if you know that the other type of happiness are anicca, dukkha, anatta, you will still not be able to let go. So you have to have equanimity and happiness inside before you can give up the happiness outside. So you need mindfulness to do this. From Nirodha, if that comes before any realization, how should I keep my mind so that I will incline more toward Dhamma in the next life? You just keep meditating. When you come face to face with life, you try to calm your mind by either using a mantra or by using a vipassana, telling yourself that the body is not you, the body is subjected to death. So if death comes around, let it be. Don't get excited, don't be afraid. Okay? Okay, I can have another about 5 minutes to talk to you, because I will then have to go and get myself ready for my arms round, my arms collection, which I have to leave my room about 5:25. So I have about 1 hour, but I have to do some yoga and some exercise first. Satyaku, dear Ajahn, I work in corporate world. I still have a desire for material wealth. Also, sometimes I find Buddhism quite depressing, as it's so much about impermanent suffering and no self. In the corporate world, it is all about me and my ego. Ajah's Dhamma teaching has inspired me to practice, but how can I push myself more to move toward the spiritual path? You just have to find more time to practice. You might have to work less. You have to cut down your aspiration for wealth by reminding that sooner or later you're gonna die. And when you die, you cannot take anything with you. So if you can keep telling yourself that life is impermanent and all the wealth that you have accumulated, as soon as you die, you will lose them all. So why have so much wealth? All you need is just to have enough money to provide your body with the four basic requisites of life: food, shelter, clothing, and medicine. If you can teach your mind like this, then you might stop desiring to be rich, and then you will find that you don't have to work too much. And then you will have the time to do meditation instead. Okay. Sapro Chai Satu, Dhammachaka Buddhist Community Center. Ajahn, is that true that Vipassana meditation can heal physical sickness? It depends on what the sickness is. If the sickness is mentally induced, then when you use Vipassana, then the mind will then let go of its attachment to a certain thing and become calm and peaceful and happy. Then the mental induced sickness will disappear. Like depression, people depressed because they cannot get what they wanted. But if they use Vipassana and teach themselves that you cannot always get what you want, sometimes you get it and sometimes you don't get it. If you don't get it, then you should just accept it and stop your desire for it. If you can do this, then your depression will disappear. Okay. There are no more questions coming in right now. So I think I will have to stop this meeting for now, because I have to prepare myself for my new day chores of going to collect food and eating my food. And when I'm free the next time, I'll come back and do this question and answer session again. Nirosha, from Nirosha, heartfelt gratitude of your contribution towards our development in the past. Varataya, thank you very much for your time and your kindness. I am encouraged and will work harder. Kwan Patuma Pa Satu. I'll see you later, Kwan. She's gonna give food to the monk every day. She gives food to the monk every day. Dhammachaka Buddhist Center, Oka Sa Wandami Ajahn. Christine Jolie, good arms round Dhamma is in your heart. Thank you. Great outreach. Check Lin Tan, greeting Ajahn. This is Shui and Check from Vancouver. We just heard that Ajahn is doing some yoga exercise. Does that mean that it is okay for us to do some yoga exercises when we are keeping the 8 precepts? Yes, if anything to protect your body, to serve your body, to keep your body well and healthy, you can do it. Okay. Check Lien Tan. Thank you, Ajahn, for your beautiful Dhamma teaching always. Okay, that's all the commentary that you have sent in today. I will now have to say goodbye. Thank you for participating in this discussion of Dhamma. I hope you will continue on with your practice, because only practice will bring you the goal of enlightenment. Thank you for now and goodbye. Good evening to you. If it's evening time for you, if it's morning, good morning. If it is afternoon, good afternoon. Okay, I'm here to answer more questions from you on the Dhamma practice. If you have any question about the Dhamma practice, please type in your question in the commentary box, and I will answer them as we go along. How are you, Morris Twy? Good to see you again. Not see you, but see your text. Today we're not using any Zoom. I guess we want to try something different. This is an easier method than Zoom, and I think it's easier for everybody. Anyone can type, can ask the question. You don't need to have the Zoom application. So I'm here to answer your question, if you got any. Okay, Morris Twy, Ya Chanicha, Supavich Sutitam, Jina Te Satu Pante. So we have 4 correspondents so far, and we have about 29 people watching at this time. Jina Te Satu Pante, Somigo Suki Hotu Ajahn. Okay. You have any question about practice, meditation, mindfulness, vipassana? The practice of meditation and contemplation are 2 separate practices. Meditation is to calm your mind, to get equanimity. Vipassana, contemplation, is to get knowledge, insight. The 2 are opposing practices. Meditation wants to calm your mind. You don't want to think. Contemplation, for insight, you have to think. So you cannot do them at the same time, except on exceptional case, like when you cannot meditate and your mind keeps wandering off or worry about something. Then you might be able to use contemplation to bring the mind to let go of the attachment and then come back to normality, and then can concentrate on meditating again. Okay. So far everybody just say Satu, Satu. Somigo, Suki Hotu Ajahn, William Chop, Satu, Satu Ajahn, Mary Ann, Satu, Satu. Okay. So maybe I'll just keep talking for now, just to keep it busy, keep you occupied. Practicing Dhamma. Okay, here comes the first question from Julie Udden. If I pronounce your name not correctly, I'm sorry. We are supposed to keep our place clean. How can we make sure cleaning does not become clinging to habits and practices? You do it on the basis of necessity. If you have to do it because it's dirty, then you're not clinging. Because when it is not dirty, you don't have to do it. So you do it based on reality, based on necessity. Like eating, you have to eat. If you don't eat, then you can go hungry. But you don't want to eat too much. You eat only when it's time for you to eat. When it's not time for you to eat, then you shouldn't eat. Then you won't be clinging to eating. Like monks, we are practicing one meal a day. So that's when we eat. We only have one meal a day. After collecting food from the alms round, then we eat our one meal a day. Then after that, we don't eat anymore until the next day. So this is not clinging or desiring. You eat because you have to feed your body, to keep it alive. Okay. May Namo Buddhaya. Okay. Julia, I hope I answer your question. I think you're from Sweden. I think we meet in Zoom some time ago. So me go, Ajahn. Consciousness is not self, also not permanent. Why are we saying that they continue to live life after life? See, we're talking about two different things. The thing that we say that live forever and is permanent is the knowing element. This knowing element has no self in it, and it exists forever. It goes from one life to the next. When you lose this body, this knowing element doesn't die with the body. It goes on to the next realm of existence, depending on the karma. When we talk about another thing, consciousness, this is the consciousness in the nama khanda, one of the nama khandas, called vijnana. This is the consciousness that conscious of the five sense objects, namely images, sound, smell, taste, and tactile objects. This consciousness keeps changing with the contact, with the object that it comes into contact with. When you see something, when that image you see disappear, then we call this impermanent. We call it change. You change to a new image. You change to the new consciousness. So this is what we're talking about, consciousness. It's not self, it's just a function. It's a mental function. But our delusion creates this perception of self. The knower becomes a self due to delusion, when in fact the knower is just a knower. And the nama khandas, such as feeling, perception, thinking, and consciousness, these are function, mental function. They keep changing due to the contact that they come into contact with, objects that they come into contact with. So I hope you have to separate the two. The nama khanda, the consciousness is one of the four nama khanda. Why the mind or the knowing element is the knowing element, the one who knows. This one doesn't change, it's always knowing. And it goes from one existence to the next. Okay, I hope this satisfies your question. The next one is William Chalk. Hi Ajahn. Nirvana is a state of unconditional mind. Can it be realized in the present life while still living? Yes, I think Nibbana means the mind that is pure from defilement. No greed, hate, and delusion. But it's still the one who knows, who can think, who can feel. Just like the mind of an unenlightened person. The difference is that The mind of an enlightened person see the Four Noble Truths. See that the mental suffering is caused by the desire, the three desire, the three cravings, craving for sensual pleasure, craving for being, and craving for not being. And once the mind develops the tools to eliminate these cravings, then when the craving disappear, then there will be no dukkha or suffering in the mind anymore. So this we call nibbana. Okay. Ama Ayugu, if I don't pronounce your name correctly, I'm sorry. Dear Ajahn, if there's no desire, what made the Buddha teach? He taught out of compassion, taught out of metta, loving kindness, because they see us. He saw us as like a prisoner in a prison, and he's a free man, and he knows how to free himself from the prison. So he wants to share this knowledge to us, so that we can also be free from the prison. The prison here is the samsara, the three realms of existence, that all unenlightened beings are locked up inside. They cannot leave these three realms of existence. Anandati, sadhu 3 times. Alfredo, good morning, how are you, Alfredo? Good to see you. Julia Uden, it is an insightful answer. There can be many different standards for what is considered dirty, which makes it more complicated. Okay. Because the mind can trick itself, saying, look, this is dirty, although it is fairly clean, to cling to the habit of cleaning. Yes, I am from Sweden, thank you so much. Well, you just set up a schedule for cleaning, do it once a week or whatever, and then you can get rid of your mind from tricking you. See, you have a certain schedule to do the cleaning. When it's not yet time to do the cleaning, we don't do it. Like for monks, we do sweeping the temple ground once a day, usually in the afternoon, see, about 3 o'clock. And we do it just once a day. If other time, if the ground is not clean, we just leave it alone. When it's not time for us to do the sweeping, we just don't do it. Because we have to be careful. We have to do sweeping at the same time. If each monk chooses a different time to do the sweeping, they can disturb one another. So in the temple we have schedule for doing this kind of work. Any kind of work that causes making noise, we have to do at the same time together. Okay. C. May, dear Ajahn, is the equanimity in the 4 Brahma Viharas the same as the equanimity in the 4th jhana and equanimity in the 7 enlightenment factor? Yes, they are all the same. You have to develop by getting to the 4th jhana. That's where you can get this equanimity. So me go. I think this is the next question. Dear Ajahn, kindly please tell me the name of the sutta where Buddha talk about knowing karma, that continue life. I don't have a sutta, no. It's just something you hear from your teachers and everybody else. So you take this, and from your practice, you see this is to be the truth. So I cannot quote you a sutta, I'm sorry. Vincent Go. Could Bhante explain how our mind-based problems like post-traumatic stress disorder, karma, sleep, nightmare, fit into the dependent origination, and where about the seed of this mind made problem stored? I think this is quite a complicated question for me to answer, so I have to say I'm sorry. It's beyond my ability to answer this question. I don't think you should know this. You have to know this thing. All you have to know is how to fix your mind, makes your mind calm and wise, and then all of this problem will disappear. Okay. Rudy Fen or Pen, Ajahn, how to practice Maha Satipatthana during meditating. Could we do it during Anapanasati? See, the Satipatthana Sutta teach 3 types of practices. First, the development of mindfulness. Second, the development of samadhi, meditation. And the third is the development of vipassana. So you have to do step by step, because they are dependent on the other. Before you can meditate, you have to first develop mindfulness. So you have to be mindful of your body. Whatever your body is doing, you have to keep watching your body. Don't let your mind go somewhere else. Then you will have mindfulness to stop your mind from thinking and wandering around. When you have mindfulness, then the next step is to sit and meditate. Focus your mind on your breath, using your breath as the anchor of your mind to prevent your mind from running around all over the place. And if you keep focusing on your breath, eventually your mind will enter into jhana or samadhi. Then after you come out of samadhi, then your mind is ready for vipassana. Then you can contemplate on the nature of your body first, then on the nature of feelings, then on the nature of the states of mind, that they are all anicca dukkha anatta, that you should not cling to them or have any desire for them. Because when you do, you can be hurt, you can suffer, because they will not be able to satisfy your desire. Okay, this is my interpretation of the 4 Satipatthana Sutta. Ama Ayu Gui, dear Ajahn, after getting enlightened, do arahats have to learn more in order to teach others, or what they know is enough? I think they teach what they know, and what they know is enough to get you enlightened. They might not know a lot of worldly knowledge, but it is not necessary. All they have to know is the Four Noble Truths and the Noble Eightfold Path. That's all they have to teach you with. Shubha Chitta, Vipassana meditation in which jhana, like first jhana, second jhana. No, Vipassana, you have to bring you bring your mind back to normal, to the level of when you're not meditating. Like now, you can contemplate on Vipassana by contemplating the nature of the body. The body is anicca, impermanent. is changing from birth to death. From birth, then it begins to age, and then it gets sick, get old, and it dies. So this is anicca. Anatta is a natural process. You cannot stop it. It's like the weather, the rain or the sun. You cannot tell the rain to rain or to go away. You cannot tell the sun to shine or not to shine. So it's the same way with the body. You cannot tell it not to get old, get sick or die. If you can do this, then you can let go of your body. You just let the body be like you let the rain be. Let the sun be. Let the body get old, get sick and die. And then you will not be hurt. Your mind will not suffer if you let go of your body. Julie Wooden, a perfect answer. Thank you. Okay. Susan Tan, Satu. Shime, thank you, Ajahn. Esther Yip, dear Ajahn, I don't know why I keep having doubts about whether I am doing my meditation correctly or not. This has caused I have to look in the screen here because this has caused a lot in confidence. Maybe because I do not see much progress in my meditation. I think, any advice for me? Yes, you just have to believe in the Buddha's teaching, in the four satipatthana or the four foundation of mindfulness, which teach you the first thing that you should develop is mindfulness before you can meditate successfully. So you should develop mindfulness first before you meditate. Mindfulness you can develop from the time you get up in the morning to the time you go to sleep by either reciting a mantra to prevent your mind from thinking aimlessly. You can let it think when you have to think about working or doing something, but if you don't have to think, then you should stop it from thinking by reciting a mantra or by watching your body activity. Just keep watching what your body is doing. Walking, standing, sitting, eating, watching, brushing the teeth, dressing, so forth. Just watch the body activity. Don't let your mind go somewhere else. Don't let the mind think about Bangkok, Malaysia, who that person or this person. Keep it focused on your body only. Then you will have mindfulness. And when you meditate, you watch your breath. Use your breath as your object of meditation. Just keep watching, don't have to do anything. Just watch at the tip of your nose. When the breath comes in, you know it comes in. When the breath goes out, you know it goes out. That's all you have to do. Then your mind will eventually become calm and peaceful and happy. Okay, I hope this will help your practice. Sis Wanda HP. Dear Ajahn, Namaskar for me. Could you please explain further to where the Arahant who has attained Parinibbana will go then? Well, see, the mind exists in another world we call the spiritual world. Your mind and our mind exist in the same realm of it, in the spiritual world. And the only difference between an Arahant and an unenlightened mind like us is that the mind of an Arahant stops grasping at birth. It doesn't go attach itself to a new body anymore. It doesn't exist in the three-realm existence. It doesn't extend its consciousness to to the three realms of existence. It just remains outside of the three realms of existence. They are all in the spiritual world. Pandi Eng, Anumodana Pante, Winston Go, thanks Ajahn. Indri, Luang Po, good evening. May Luang Po be well, healthy, happiness and peacefully. Please, Luang Po advise 4-element conversation with 32 parts of body. Okay, see the 32 parts of the body needs to have the 4 elements as the building block or as the raw material. See, when you manufacture something like a car, you need to have steel, you need to have glasses, you need to have rubber in order to be able to produce the parts of the automobile. Likewise with the parts of the body, the hair of the head, and so forth. They have to have the 4 elements as the raw material. That's why we take in the 4 elements every day. We breathe in the air element, we drink water element, we eat the earth element. The food such as rice and vegetable, they represent the earth element. They come from the earth element. So when they enter into the body, then they will start the manufacturing process. They start to manufacture the different parts of the body or maintain the different parts of the body. So this is the way the 4 elements build up the 32 parts of the body. The second question, is it right we may have teacher to practice object asupa? When you practice the supa, if you don't know how to practice, then you need a teacher to tell you. And all you have to do is study the way how the body look after it dies. In ancient India, they leave the body, the corpse, in the cemetery. So when you go into the cemetery, you see the different types of corpse. But nowadays, we don't have this. So you need to just imagine by reading the 10 corpse, the 10 stages of corpse, like a bloating corpse, a swollen corpse, so forth. I can't remember. It's in the 4 foundation of mindfulness. You just keep imagining these images in your mind, especially when you see attractive body and you start to have sexual desire. When you think that this body eventually will become corpse, then you might be able to get rid of your sexual desire. Number 3, when the mind comes to baby, when in the mother womb. Well, I don't know exactly when the time, but you need 3 things to combine to create a baby. You need the sperm from the father, you need the egg from the mother, and you need the mind to come together. When these 3 factors, 3 conditions come together, then conception started. Luang Po, thank you very much. Okay, that's Indri. Next, Ama Ayukwe, dear Ajahn, is practicing only mindfulness, Marananusati enough to reach enlightenment stages? It depends. If you can let go of your fear of death, if you can accept death of the body, then you will reach half of the first stage of enlightenment. But you need to also get rid of your fear of sickness, of painful feeling of the body, in order to complete your first stage of enlightenment, becoming a Sotapanna. A Sotapanna can see that the body and the feelings that arise from the body is anatta, no self, and that the body will be subjected to aging, sickness and death. And it can see this clearly and then accept the truth and will not cling to the body by not having any desire not to get old, get sick or die. Once you can do this, then you can become enlightened, fully enlightened on the first stage of enlightenment, that of a Sotapanna. Ahmed Zaki, Metta from Egypt. Rudy Pen, Satu, Ajahn, for your guidance. Sorry. Ama Ayugu, the Ajahn is practicing only Marananusati. Okay, that has been answered. Fong Zin Yi, good evening, Luang Por. I am asking on behalf of my mother. If she contemplating on the skeleton, does she just use... Okay. Does she just uses that as one object, or does she need to continue on change to other parts of the body? If you want to see all the rest of the parts of the body, that also would be good, because then you can see the complete picture. But if you use the skeleton only to get rid of your sexual desire, this is also possible. When you see a beautiful body, then you look inside and see the skeleton. Once you see the skeleton inside of a beautiful body, then you can get rid of your sexual desire. Wu Kit Ling Karen, dear Ajahn, like to listen to Dhamma talk very much, and you interpret it very good. Satu, Satu. Meal on meditation. Good evening, Tan Ajahn. The sound is good. CK Son. Good evening, Ajahn. Can give a brief explanation how to practice Anapanasati meditation. Yes, you first have to have mindfulness strong enough to be able to concentrate on your meditation object, on your breath. If you cannot watch your breath, you might keep running away. Then you might have to start by using chanting first. Use chanting to bring your mind back, or using mantra, Bhutto, Bhutto. After you have chanted for a while or reciting Bhutto for a while, and you think the mind doesn't go away anymore, doesn't think about other things, then you can look at the breath. Keep watching the breath at the tip of your nose. Don't have to follow in the breath. Don't have to force the breath to be short or long. Just watch the breath. And then if you don't go away from your breath, you will eventually your mind will eventually become calm, peaceful and happy. Albert Hugh, Ajahn, okay, Satu. Fong Sin Yi, good evening, Luang Por. I answered this question already. Okay, this is Shubham Chitta. Satu, 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 Anumotana, Ajahn. N.G.I. King, Satu, Lisa Wu. Hi, Ajahn. Good evening. Can you explain present moment thought? Is it harmful for our practice? No, this is what you have to do to bring your mind to be in the present. Don't let your mind go to the past or the future when you are developing mindfulness. You keep it in the present. Keep it with your mantra, or keep it with your object your body. Keep watching your body. The body is in the present. So is your mantra. When your mind stays in the present, then the mind will be able to enter into samadhi. If it goes to the past or to the future, it will not be able to enter into samadhi. Po Liang Soon. Do Ajahn tell us Buddha teaching that can reduce sickness? No, sickness is part of the body's nature. But you can, if you take good care of your body, you will get less sickness. If you don't take good care of your body, then you'll get more sickness. So you have to ask the doctor how to take good care of your body. Then you will have less sickness. But you cannot prevent sickness. Sickness is part of the body's nature. Sooner or later, no matter how well you look after your body, the body will get sick. So you have to accept this, and then you will not suffer, you will not be afraid or be hurt when the body becomes sick. So me go. Ajahn, forgive me for asking. The Arahant living outside of three realms, living in spiritual world. Can Ajahn explain further? This is just a description. Maybe it's not the real thing. I don't know. The real thing is of the mind. The Buddha's mind, your mind, all lives in the spiritual world. And the spiritual world we can divide into half. The three sphere of existence is one half, and the other half is Nibbana. So you move from the three spheres of existence after you became enlightened, and you move into the other half, which is the Nibbana half of the spiritual world. This is about all that I can explain to you. Right now you are in the other half, you're in the three realms of existence. If you have sensual cravings, you will be born in the sensual world, such as our world right now. But if you can meditate and enter jhana, you will be in the rupa jhana world. If you can practice arupa jhana, then you will be in the arupa jhana world. See? But this three world is impermanent. You go there and eventually you will have to come back and reborn as a human again. And you just keep going back and forth. But once you have become enlightened, become an Arahant, then you move outside of this three realm of existence. Then you stay in the other half of the spiritual world, which is Nibbana. Okay? I hope this is clear enough. Ahmed Zaki, what is the difference between right mindfulness and right contemplation, right concentration in the Eightfold Path? Right mindfulness is to keep your mind from thinking, prevent your mind from thinking, and keep your mind in the present by focusing on the body or using a mantra. Then your mind will be in the present and not thinking. While right concentration, this is samadhi. When you enter into jhana, this is right concentration, the fourth jhana. Julia Uden, I periodically try to take 8 precepts. How should I think about breaking precept of not music dancing when I do this? Hang on, I have to read in the computer screen. How should I think about breaking precept of not music dancing when I do this with the intention of taking care of children? How should I think about breaking precept of not music dancing? Well, if you break, you break. It means you are still not capable of keeping this precept. So there's nothing to worry about. If you want to keep this precept, then you have to stop dancing, stop singing. If you cannot stop, then it means you cannot keep it. Okay? Sadhu ka Pikun Keo. Albert Hugh. Sorry. Ajahn, please advise the proper way to do transferring of merit. You do it in your mind, just by thinking. After you have given something to charity, you have a good feeling. Then you can say, I would like to dedicate this good feeling, this contentment to the spiritual being, whoever you want to. Just name the name of the person, and that's enough. You don't need to use water or anything like that. That is just a ritual. The real thing is the good feeling of happiness and contentment that you get from doing dana or charity. And you can share this good feeling and contentment to the spiritual being. Indri Lungpo, when start meditate, sometime we feeling have sound in heart. When breathe, what happened? Please just ignore them. They are just distraction. They don't hurt you or anything like that. Just keep watching your breath and ignore everything that appears when you meditate. If you don't, then you will not be able to enter into samadhi, because you will be distracted by whatever happens. So you have to ignore them. Don't worry, they don't hurt you. They cannot hurt you. Just keep watching your breath, and then your mind will become calm. Amit Zaki, Ajahn, what does it mean to establish the 4 foundations of mindfulness, and how we establish them? See, the 4 foundations of mindfulness is the practice, the 3 steps of practices. The first step is to develop mindfulness. The second step is to develop concentration or samadhi. And then the third step is to develop insight or vipassana, by studying the nature of the body, of the feeling, and of the states of mind, to see them as being anicca, dukkha, anatta, and then let go of them, not clinging to them. Then the mind will be free from attachment, free from desire, and free from suffering. Varataya Asagun, thank you very much, Ajahn, for all these insightful answers. More listening in this form just builds more sattha. Okay. More sattha and solidify my understanding. Ama Ayugui. Let me see if I can read on the screen here. Dear Ajahn, we are all very grateful for having English-speaking Kuba Ajahn in this lineage. Can Ajahn please extend your life for the benefit of us all? I wish I can. I cannot control my body. I can look after it as good as I can. That's about all I can do. But when it's time for it to die, there's nothing I can do about it. Just have to let it be. Vince Chua, Ajahn, is awareness, is not emptiness. Awareness is to be aware of both the chattering mind and empty mind. Is this correct? This is mindfulness. Mindfulness is to be aware of the chattering mind and empty mind. You have to have mindfulness in order to be able to see whether your mind is thinking or not thinking. But the one who knows this thing is not mindfulness. The one who knows whether the mind is empty or thinking is the knowing element, or the one who knows. But you don't have to know this thing. It doesn't enter into your equation. It doesn't make any difference whether you know this or not. What you need to know is how to stop your mind from thinking and keep your mind empty from feelings and from emotions. Then your mind will be peaceful, calm and happy. Fong Sin Yi, thank you Luang Po for the explanation. Chompu MTR is watching. Okay. Ubekha Go Bun Chuan. Good evening, Ajahn. I'm a 16 years old teenager. I already learned Dhamma for 4 years, and I would like to ask what is the... I have to look in the computer screen. I already learned Dhamma for 4 years, and I would like to ask what is the easiest way to attain Sotapanna. Well, you have to first keep the sila, the precepts. Keep the 5 precepts, then keep the 8 precepts. Then you have to learn to develop mindfulness so that you can sit in meditation to calm your mind. Once you can calm your mind, after you come out of your meditation, then you should teach your mind that the body is not you. The body is a natural phenomena in which you cannot control the body. The body is like the weather, like the wind, the rain. You cannot tell when the wind to blow or not to blow. You cannot tell the rain when to fall or not to fall. So you cannot tell the body when not to die, when not to get sick, when not to get old. The body will have to be by the way of itself. If it's gonna get old, it's gonna get old. If it's gonna get sick, it's gonna get sick. If it's gonna die, it's gonna die. But you don't die with the body, so you don't have to be afraid. You just accept the truth of the body and let it get old, get sick and die. Then you can become a Sotapanna. Po Leong Soon. Is it compulsory as Buddhists need to chant as much as we can to keep us peaceful? It's one method of keeping the mind peaceful, but it's not compulsory. You can use the mantra, or you can use mindfulness or breathing. So there are several methods of keeping the mind calm. But for a lot of Buddhists, they find chanting easy for them. So they do chanting first. But it's not peaceful enough. You can get more peaceful if you can watch your breath. Wei Tun Ui, dear Ajahn, is meditation duration determine one's calmness level? No, it's the strength of your mindfulness that will determine the calmness of your mind. The stronger mindfulness, the calmer will the mind be, and the longer duration it will be also. So you have to try to develop as much mindfulness as possible. And you can do this when you are not meditating. You can do this all the time, from the time you get up in the morning to the time you go to sleep, by reciting a mantra or by watching what your body is doing. Then you will have strong mindfulness. And when you meditate, you can become calm very quickly and remain in the state of calm for a long, long time. So Miko, Ajahn, thanks for gratitude, with gratitude for the answer. Kema Jenny, Namo Buddhaya, Luang Po. Great sadhu for offering your spiritual guidance via this live video. I have started inside. Kema Jenny. I have started insight meditation since 2003. Over the years, my meditation widens and deepens in depth. Nature passed across the screens, and my eyes sharpen. I have no opportunity to meet English-speaking Dhamma teachers, whom, okay, that's all. That's just a comment, no question. Albert Hugh, thanks Ajahn for your advice. Kenny Lee, dear Ajahn, it is okay to share merit with our departed relatives after we complete our meditation sitting alone. I'm not sure whether you can share this merit from meditation or not, because according to the scripture, you share merit by giving dana, by giving to charity. But if you want to share it, nothing can stop you from doing it. Whether it's possible or successful or not, I don't know. Chin Li Ching, Ajahn mentioned earlier that we should resist desire. But as a householder, when I want to cook or what to cook, so how to Chin Li Ching, or what to cook, so how to resist or tell the mind, think later, or tell the mind it's just thought. Well, if the mind wants to think about food, you should think about the food in your mouth, the food in your stomach, or the food in the toilet. If you think like this, then you would stop thinking about food. Okay? Okay, we have already done 52 minutes of this meeting. We'll go to about 1 hour, so we have 8 minutes left. Because longer than that, I get tired. So the next person, Jean YC. Recently, when meditate, I feel a sensation of being on waves. What does this mean? And when that happens, I find it confusing between trying to watch my breath and also between my curiosity toward the waves. You should ignore the waves, because if you watch the waves instead of your breath, then you will not succeed in your meditation. Your mind will not become calm. So you have to focus, concentrate on watching your breath, and ignore all sensation, all images, or anything that happens while you meditate. They are all distractions. They will prevent you from entering into samadhi. Felicia Chan Satu. Vinicius Farkas. I practice meditation with Ajahn Mudito in Brazil. My references to you, Tanajan. When we transfer merit to others, do we lose this merit or part of it? You lose part of it. You don't lose all. You share the merit. Most of the merit you will keep. You can only share a small portion of your merits, because the ability of the spiritual being cannot accept too many merits. Ahmed Zaki, please Ajahn, would you explain to us what does the word fold means in the Eightfold Path? It's just an English word to accompany the word eight. That's all. It just means eight factors of the path. Eightfold, 8 times. The word fold means time. You know, the path has 8 factors. 8x, fold means x. Multiplied by 8. The path has 8 factors. Okay, this is English word. In the Pali word, it's I cannot think of the Pali. I'm sorry, I cannot. But it just means the 8 factors 8 parts of the path toward enlightenment. NG Chung Tiang, Satu Satu. Adrian Chin, thank you for your guidance. What Maxley, Ajahn, can please explain in detail what do you mean by mindfulness of the movement of the abdomen lead to the direct Do you mean by mindfulness of the movement of the abdomen lead to the direct experience of the air element, that is to its specific characteristic of motion, vibration and support? This is then that we can rightly know the real nature of the air element, thereby destroying the false view of self. No, I don't think so. You can see the air, you can feel the air while you're breathing, or when the wind blows you can feel the air, but that doesn't mean you will understand the air element in your body. See? The air element in your body is mixed with the earth, the fire and the water element to produce the 32 parts. See? So this is more chemical. You have to think in chemical terms. Hydrogen, nitrogen, oxygen, and so forth. When they combine, then they produce cell. Cell then makes the body parts. But there are no self in this body part. They come from the 4 elements. Dylan Alves, Satu Satu Bante. Is the knowing element or the one who knows, same as the vijnana caused by sankhara? No, the vijnana caused by sankhara is the vijnana in the namakanda, the 4 namakanda, Vedana, Sanya, Sankhara and vijnana. The vijnana, that is the knowing element. I think it's only used in the Thai language. I don't think it's used in the Pali. The Pali just call the mind, the mano, or the knowing element. While the citta are the states of mind, like feelings and emotions in the knowing element. Okay, so the vijnana and sankhara, this is in the 4 namakandas. With sankhara, you go to vijnana, and then you go to the contact of the sense objects with the sense organs. When you do this, you have feeling of vedana. When you have vedana, then you have desire, cravings. When you have cravings, you have attachment. When you have attachment, you have what we call power. To maintain this thing that you have. If you lose it, then you go and get a new one. Like the body, when you lose the body, then you have to go get a new body. That's when you got birth, rebirth. And then when you get birth, you get aging, sickness and death. This is more or less my understanding. Might not be crystal clear, but I think if you look at it this way, I think you understand. Okay, Christine Jolie, do we always have to keep the same posture from time to time when we meditate? If we cross-legged, if we sit cross-legs, with example, the right leg under the left leg, so do we have to keep the same posture each time we meditate, or we can change? What is better? When you meditate, you have to keep the posture you're starting with. But when you meditate the next time, if you like to change the other posture, you can. But when you meditate, you don't want to move your body. Once you start meditating, you just keep concentrating on your meditation object and forget about the body. Ubekha, Sadhu, Bante, thanks for the guidance. Miki Lassino or Mikey Lassino, dear Ajahn, just curious. I attended a retreat, was meditating and felt like falling off from a high place backwards. I was startled and opened my eyes at that moment. Thank you. See, your mind, when it was about to enter into jhana or into samadhi, it will have this kind of feeling, falling from a high place, or sometimes feel like you're losing your last breath, you're breathing your last breath. But this is just the feeling. It's not real. It's not. You're not actually falling from a high place, or you're not breathing your last breath. It's just the mind creating this sensation. All you have to do is just be mindful and don't open your eyes. Just keep focusing on your breath, and then your mind will then become calm, peaceful, and happy. Joseph Chor, deep down I still have doubts about rebirth. That frightened me. Well, you don't have to worry about it, What you should worry more is how to develop mindfulness, concentration, and vipassana. Once you can do this, then your doubt will be dispelled. So don't worry about rebirth. If you don't believe in it, it's okay. If you don't believe in karma, it's okay. All you have to believe in is how to develop mindfulness, how to sit in meditation to get into samadhi, and how to develop vipassana to gain insight and get rid of your desire and suffering. That's all you have to know or to be concerned with. All the other things, they are complementary knowledge. Jean YC, thank you Ajahn for your advice. Sadhu, sadhu. PND Ang, Ajahn, is possible the person who's born as pet can come in our house. If our house already have jetiya and we Ajahn, is possible the person who's born as peta can come in our house. If in our house already have jetiya and we have chanting every day, the peta, they don't come into your house, they come into your mind. See, your mind is the one who come into contact with the peta. All the spiritual beings are contacted by the mind, not by the house. So you don't have to worry about the house. And when you are contacted by spiritual beings, you just give them metta, give them loving kindness. You should invite them or welcome them and talk nicely to them and ask them what they want. If you can give them, then you give it to them. If you cannot, then just tell them you cannot do so. That's all. But they cannot hurt you, so you don't have to be afraid. Kamlesh Tawari, dear respected monk, earlier we had discussed, now on dated 6 May 2020, my wife has good news. We become parents. One more time, we just want your metta, that's all. Maybe we come to your country soon. Okay, may your child be a good child, be a happy child, and be a safe child. Tony Lee, Yakung, Bante, every time I set 1 hour alarm, sometimes I can finish it at the time, and sometimes I can't finish the meditation. at the time because of the numbness of my legs. I cannot hold on, continue. I will face depression and it will take 2 to 3 hours to recover my depression. Well, don't be attached to the time limit that you set up. You know, if you can do it, good. If you cannot do it, just accept the truth, that's all, and try it again the next time. Don't have to feel remorse, don't have to be sad because you cannot do it. Because sometimes we fail, sometimes we succeed. This is part of the practice. By feeling bad about it doesn't do you any good. Okay? Amit Saki, thank you, Ajahn. So we go with metta to all and sadhu sadhu. Yai, namaskaran จ้าค่ะ Ajahn, what is the difference between sati and knowing mind? See, knowing mind is the knowing mind knows all the time. But without sati, it doesn't know what it knows. It just goes all over the place, following the thoughts. But with sati, then the sati can direct the mind, the knowing mind, to know something specifically, like knowing the breath, knowing the body, knowing the mantra. So you need sati to be the one to direct the mind to know something specific, something, particular. But without sati, then your mind will just know whatever the thought will lead the mind to. Happy in Ajahn. Kema Jenny, Namo Buddhaya Longpo. Great sadhu to you for this blessed Dhammic interviews you have been offering. Okay. น้อมกับสาธุเจ้าข้าพระอาจารย์สุทธพัฒน์ลีมินสาธุสาธุโทนี very thank you Bante สาธุสาธุ I think that's about all the questions for tonight. Because all I see now is just thank you with metta to all, sadhu, sadhu. So thank you very much for coming in and discuss the Dhamma. I'm very happy to be able to help you. Maybe not everything that I said might be helpful to you or not, I don't know. But I try my best to tell you what I know. And if it's not good enough for you, maybe we'll do it again next time. Okay? In the meantime, keep on practicing, keep on studying the teaching of the Buddha. Because the more study you do, the more understanding you will have. Then you can then know how to practice properly, correctly. So, be safe, keep on practicing, and I'll see you the next time. Goodbye for now.